The genius of the ancient god's descendant Lu Ming stayed in the 8th tribe, waiting for the blood pool to open. Every tribe of the descendants of ancient gods had a blood pool, but it couldn't be opened at any time. Because the energy of the blood pool was limited, the opening time was fixed. It would open once every 100 years. Lu Ming wandered around the 8th tribe and unknowingly came to a wide open space. At this time his path was blocked. More than 10 young men, each of them burly and dark-skinned, blocked Lu Ming's path. He was an expert of the younger generation in the 8th tribe. Lu Ming, I heard that you're the descendant of an ascetic? A young man with a square face and a height of about 2 meters stared at Lu Ming and asked. Not bad. Lu Ming nodded. There's always a rumor that every ascetic has extremely powerful combat strength that far surpasses his peers. I wonder if this rumor is true. Today we'll see it for ourselves. The square-faced young man said, revealing a strong desire to fight. It turned out that these young men wanted to spar with Lu Ming. With a sweep of his gaze, he discovered that the square-faced young man's cultivation was only at the 7th stage true god realm. Lu Ming shook his head and said, You're not my match. Lu Ming was speaking the truth. A 7th stage true god was indeed not his match. Presumptuous. Your cultivation is clearly lower than mine. How do you know that I'm not your match? We haven't awakened our divine bodies either. My cultivation is higher than yours, so I can suppress you. Come, let's fight. The square-faced young man was very persistent. His combat strength was strong as he charged toward Lu Ming. The other young men were also staring at Lu Ming. Lu Ming smiled bitterly. He knew that he had no choice but to take action. In the legends of the descendants of the ancient gods, ascetics were people with extremely powerful combat strength. These people were obviously very curious and did not believe it. They wanted to test Lu Ming's skills. In the surroundings, figures appeared one after another. They were the descendants of the other ancient gods. Gu Hongshan's figure had also appeared. However, they didn't stop him. Instead, they looked on with anticipation. The descendants of the ancient gods loved to fight. They wanted to see Lu Ming's combat strength. All right, then let's have a spar. Lu Ming nodded. His body rose into the air and he stood high in the sky. Bang! The square-faced young man took a step forward and soared into the sky as well, standing face to face with Lu Ming. Boom! The square-faced young man was the first to move. Facing Lu Ming, he didn't dare to be careless and used his full strength. The power of a 7th-tier true god erupted completely and he threw a punch at Lu Ming. Boom! Lu Ming also threw a punch. This punch had triggered the double combat power of the battle formula. Thump! The two fists collided with a violent boom. Then, the square-faced young man's body shook violently and was blown away like a cannonball. He flew hundreds of miles away. His face turned pale and he spat out a mouthful of blood. The square-faced young man looked at Lu Ming in shock. One move. It was only one move and he was defeated. He was no match for Lu Ming at all. Amazing. As expected of the descendant of a bitter cultivator. His cultivation is obviously 2 levels lower, but in terms of strength, he completely overpowers me. Gu Hongshan exclaimed. That's true. I also feel that he didn't use his full strength. I wonder how strong he will be if he uses his full strength. The others also sighed, feeling even more curious. Thanks for letting me win. Lu Ming cupped his fists at the square-faced young man. Amazing, he's indeed amazing. I'm convinced. The square-faced young man sighed and flew down to the ground. Bang! After the square-faced young man flew down, another young man flew up to look at the sky and stood in front of Lu Ming. Imguzhua at the stage 9 of True God Realm. I'd like to have a look. The young man cupped his fists. Please. Lu Ming raised his hand. Since the other party wanted to spar, he would accompany him to the end. He would make the ancient god completely convinced and show his strength. Only then would he be able to gain more benefits from the ancient god descendants. Boom. Guzhua made his move. His muscles bulged, and his body seemed to have turned into steel. Although he hadn't awakened his ancient god body, the power of his divine body was extraordinary. He attacked continuously, his fists tearing through the air and blasting toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming did not take out his long spear. He also used his fist to fight the enemy. However, Lu Ming's fist contains 6 types of divine power. Furthermore, it was the explosive power of the battle character formula that tripled his combat power. Lu Ming's strength was already astonishingly strong and he could completely suppress his opponent. Thump. Boom! The two of them exchanged a few moves in a row. Gu Zhuo could not withstand Lu Ming's attacks and retreated frantically. It was almost the same as the square-faced young man earlier. He was also crushed by Lu Ming. Amazing, really amazing. Gu Zhuo, a stage 9 true god, is hard to match. The ascetic strength is truly terrifying. Can he fight against a heavenly god? Many descendants of the ancient gods were shocked by Lu Ming. The dozen or so youths who had challenged Lu Ming earlier looked at each other. Among them, Gu Zhuo was the strongest. If he couldn't defeat Gu Zhuo, the other sects didn't need to fight. Is there anyone else who wants to give me a lesson? Lu Ming asked. The dozen or so youths were silent. They had already acknowledged Lu Ming's ability. The descendant of the ascetics. As expected of the descendant of the ascetics. Your strength is amazing. How about I experience it? At this moment, a voice came from afar. Then, a figure flashed and a rather handsome young man appeared in the sky. This young man's aura was vast and mighty. He actually reached the celestial deity realm, a first-level celestial deity. Big Brother Gu Ming, it's Big Brother Gu Ming. The youths from before were shocked. Gu Ming, you're one of the strongest geniuses in the 8th tribe. You're also a first-tier celestial god and have awakened the ancient god body. It's a little inappropriate for you to spar with Lu Ming. Gu Hongshan stood out and said, Big Brother Hongshan, I can see that Lu Ming is very powerful and I can't help but feel a little itchy to learn from him. If Lu Ming doesn't want to spar, I won't force him. Gu Ming said with a smile. He was indeed itching for a fight. Seeing that Lu Ming was so powerful, he could not help but want to compete with Lu Ming and see what other tricks the descendants of the ascetics had. But Gu Hongshan was still hesitant. After all, Gu Ming was much more powerful than Lu Ming. Big Brother Hongshan, it's fine. I was just thinking of sparring and understanding the power of the ancient god body. Lu Ming said. He had seen Gu Hongshan and the others use the ancient god body before. He only knew that it was very powerful. He had never tried it himself. He was very curious about how powerful the ancient god body was. If that's the case, why don't you two have a match? But be careful, Lu Ming. Gu Ming has an orange-armored ancient god body. Gu Hongshan reminded. An orange-armored ancient god body? Come on. Lu Ming revealed a strong fighting spirit. Ah, Brother Lu Ming, you're so forthright. But if you want me to use the orange-armored ancient god body, you'll have to see if you can force me to do so. Gu Ming laughed. His heavenly god realm aura burst out. A 2-meter-long mace appeared in his hand. It was extremely ferocious. Resisting the orange-armored ancient god body, the spiked club in Gu Ming's hand was as thick as a human waist. It was covered with sharp spikes and looked extremely ferocious. Lu Ming, you make the first move. Gu Ming looked at Lu Ming and said. With his celestial god cultivation base, he had already lost face by fighting Lu Ming. At this moment, he did not want to take advantage of him. All right. Lu Ming nodded. 6 divine flames burned in his body and the battle character formula was triggered to quadruple his combat power. The 3 apocalyptic strikes, break the sky. A long spear appeared in Lu Ming's hand. A dazzling spear gleam streaked across the void, heading straight for Gu Ming. So strong. The moment Lu Ming made his move, many of the descendants of the ancient gods were shocked. The power of Lu Ming's move had completely reached the level of a divine realm expert. It was much stronger than when he had fought Gu Zhuo and the others. Gu Ming's pupils also shrank, and his expression turned serious. God critical strike. Die. Gu Ming shouted and unleashed his full power. He waved his mace, bringing with it a strong wind and smashing it toward Lu Ming. Thump. The 2 attacks collided. In the void, it was as if hundreds of millions of explosives had exploded, causing a terrifying tremor. Buzz. Buzz. The long spear in Lu Ming's hands trembled violently. Lu Ming felt a surge of energy and he retreated rapidly. At the same time, Gu Ming's figure also retreated rapidly. He retreated even more than Lu Ming. So powerful. He's really powerful. Lu Ming actually managed to force Gu Ming to retreat. Gu Ming is a celestial god. His combat strength is terrifying. I don't think Gu Ming can defeat Lu Ming without using the ancient god body. Indeed. The descendants of the ancient god clan were all shocked. Gu Ming's eyes were also extremely serious, but his fighting spirit was even stronger. Lu Ming, you're really something. It looks like I'm no match for you even if I don't transform into my ancient god body. You'll have to be careful from now on. As soon as Gu Ming finished speaking, a terrifying aura burst out from his body. A roar came from Gu Ming's body, as if an ancient god was roaring. At the same time, Gu Ming's body grew rapidly. He grew to more than 20 meters at an astonishing speed. Moreover, Gu Ming was different from Gu Hongshan and the others. His body was covered in orange scales, which glowed under the sun. The mace in his hand also grew in size with Gu Ming's body. A giant appeared in front of Lu Ming. This was the orange-armored ancient god body. God critical strike. Gu Ming hollered and swung his mace at Lu Ming again. The sky shook violently. The power this time was much stronger than the previous time. 3 apocalyptic strikes, moon-cutting, die. Lu Ming growled. Thick divine power gushed into the long spear. The long spear struck down and a crescent-shaped spear light burst out. Clang. The 2 sides clashed for the second time. The terrifying sound waves spread out in all directions. Then, Lu Ming's body was blasted away like a cannonball. He was thrown hundreds of miles away, leaving a long trail of air. Gotcha! Lu Ming had already activated the 9-layer crimson gold armor. However, at that moment, cracks appeared on the armor. Lu Ming felt his entire body go numb and he almost spat out a mouthful of blood. What a terrifying strength! Lu Ming looked at Gu Ming's huge body in front of him, his heart filled with shock. Gu Ming's power had exceeded his expectations. Even if he used all his strength, it would be difficult for him to fight against Gu Ming's power. Is this the power of the ancient god body? Lu Ming muttered. He could not help but look forward to it. Gu Ming was a completely different person when he had the ancient god body and when he hadn't. The difference in power was too great. And this was only the orange-armored ancient god body. If he could awaken an even stronger ancient god body, how strong would he be? Lu Ming's heart was burning with desire for the ancient god body. Lu Ming, do you want to do it again? Gu Ming's deep voice rang out. Of course I'm coming. This is just the beginning. Lu Ming laughed. He had not used his tricks yet. Buzz. As soon as he finished speaking, Lu Ming cast the 9 heavenly Kuan Peng technique. In a flash he appeared above Gu Ming's head. 9 ice chains flew out and wrapped around Gu Ming. At the same time, a 9-clawed divine dragon appeared and pounced at Gu Ming with a roar. Good. Gu Ming waved his mace and struck at the ice chains and the 9-clawed divine dragon. However, as Lu Ming's cultivation level increased, the power of the ice shackles and the divine dragon materialization technique had also increased significantly. They were not so easy to break now. Clang, clang. Although the ice chains and the 9-clawed divine dragon were swept away by Gu Ming, they were not destroyed. After they were swept away, they continued to attack Gu Ming. At the same time, Lu Ming himself also cast the moon-cutting move and attacked Gu Ming. It could be said that Lu Ming had used all his means and exerted his strength to the extreme. However, he was still no match for an unknown opponent. He could not get close to Gu Ming at all and form an effective attack. Every time he attacked, Gu Ming would deflect it with terrifying power. However, Lu Ming's speed was extremely fast and his methods were complicated and varied. Gu Ming could not defeat Lu Ming in a short time. The 2 of them had exchanged dozens of moves, but neither of them had a winner. Alright, let's stop fighting. There's no point in fighting like this. After a while, Gu Ming suddenly cried out. He waved his mace and knocked away the ice chains and the 9-clawed divine dragon. He quickly retreated and shrunk to the size of an ordinary person. With a single thought, the ice chain flew back to Lu Ming's body and disappeared. the 9-clawed divine dragon also dispersed. The orange-armored ancient god body is truly powerful. Lu Ming sighed. You're the one who's amazing. You haven't awakened your ancient god body and your cultivation is only at tier 5 true god, but you're so strong. You're really abnormal. Gu Ming sighed, but his eyes were filled with admiration. Lu Ming shook his head and smiled. He had relied on the combination of various secret skills and godly skills to fight Gu Ming. He was definitely not Gu Ming's match if he were to fight him head-on. Although Gu Ming's cultivation was at the first-level sky celestial realm, his combat strength increased dramatically when he transformed into the ancient god body. The power of a head-on collision would probably crush a second-level sky celestial realm expert and be comparable to a third-level sky celestial realm expert. However, his weakness was his slow speed and few changes. Otherwise, Lu Ming would definitely not be a match for Gu Ming. When you awaken your ancient god body, let's have a spar, Gu Ming said. All right. Lu Ming nodded. At the same time, the other descendants of the ancient god were also in a heated discussion. They were shocked by Lu Ming's abilities. Is this the strength of an ascetic? Isn't that a little too terrifying? It's indeed too shocking. Ordinary ascetics are definitely not this powerful. I reckon that Lu Ming is a peerless genius even among the ascetics. Definitely. Everyone nodded in unison. If an ordinary bitter cultivator had such strength, it would be a huge blow to them. They did not doubt Lu Ming's various means. In their opinion, it was normal for ascetics to have all kinds of wonderful means when they walked through all kinds of dangerous places to train themselves. Chapter 2838 Awakening. The sparring session came to an end. Lu Ming had also witnessed the power of the ancient god body. He returned to his residence and waited patiently. 7 days later, the blood pool was officially opened. Lu Ming, along with more than 20 youths from the 8th tribe, followed a few elders to a huge stone hall. In addition to them, there were many people from the 8th tribe gathered outside the stone hall. They were all here to watch. Blood pool, open, an old man shouted. Then, a few elders stepped forward and formed strange runes in their hands. The runes flew towards the door of the stone hall. The door opened with a rumble, revealing a pitch-black entrance. Go in. Remember, do your best. The longer you stay in the blood pool, the more bloodline power you can absorb and the stronger your ancient god body will be. An old man warned. Yes. The 20-odd young men nodded in unison and walked toward the gate. Lu Ming was among them. When they entered the door closed with a rumble. When the door closed, it glowed and an image appeared above the door. It was the image of Lu Ming and the others in the stone hall. They were outside and could see everything that was happening inside. This was also the reason why so many people had come to watch. I wonder how many people will be able to awaken the ancient god body this time. About half. Every time, it's about half. I hope there'll be more this time. Let's hope someone awakens the orange-armored ancient god body. I wonder what level of ancient god body Lu Ming will awaken? He has condensed the ancient god's heart and has at least an orange-armored ancient god body. It's not impossible for him to awaken a yellow-armored ancient god body. The yellow-armored ancient god body. Once it awakens, your future will be limitless. Many people were watching and discussing. After Lu Ming and the group entered the stone hall, they saw a pitch-black passage. They followed the passage and walked for 100 miles. The light in front of them brightened. They had actually come to a huge space. This space was brightly lit and there was a small lake on the ground. The lake water was blood-red in color, and a terrifying energy rippled out. Is this the blood pool? It's a lake. Lu Ming sighed. Let's go in. Remember, we'll hold on for as long as we can. There's only one chance, so we have to seize it. Gu Zhuo warned the others. Everyone nodded, then slowly walked down to the blood pool. Lu Ming also stepped into the blood pool. As soon as he stepped into the blood pool, a powerful and strange force rushed toward Lu Ming. It seeped through his skin and gushed into his ancient god heart. This is the aura of an ancient god. Lu Ming could feel that the energy that surged into the blood pool had a rich ancient god aura. Lu Ming quickened his pace and soon, his entire body was submerged in the lake. More energy from all directions rushed towards Lu Ming and gushed into the ancient god's heart. The ancient god's heart started to thump. With the influx of energy, the ancient god's heart beat even more fiercely. It even took the initiative to burst out of force and absorb the energy from the outside world. Outside the stone hall, everyone waited quietly. About 3 hours later, the lake water churned as a young man rushed out of the water and landed on the shore, gasping for breath. We failed. The young man's eyes were filled with disappointment and loneliness. He hadn't even awakened his ancient god body, and he already couldn't handle the energy of the blood pool. This meant that he had failed. The blood pool had a mysterious energy. Each person could only enter it once. If they entered it a second time, they would be ejected by a force. If he didn't succeed this time, he would never be able to awaken the ancient god body again. Gu Feng has failed. Sigh, although I knew beforehand that the chances of him succeeding were very low, I still held onto a sliver of hope. Unfortunately, outside the stone hall, someone sighed. It was Gu Feng's family. Gu Feng's failure was only the beginning. Following this, more and more people failed and more people charged out of the blood pool. Once one entered the blood pool, a powerful force would pour into the body. When the force accumulated enough, it could even burst the body. Therefore, many people couldn't bear it. This was a test of one's willpower and the concentration of the ancient god bloodline. The higher the concentration of the ancient god bloodline, the more energy could be absorbed. Just like Lu Ming, the ancient god's heart kept absorbing the energy and he did not feel any pressure at all. As time passed, more and more people failed. Half a day later, half of the people had failed. The people who had failed all had ugly expressions and sighed. The people outside the stone hall became nervous. Anyone who could stay in the blood pool for half a day had a high chance of awakening the ancient god body. Suddenly, a huge roar came from a certain direction of the blood pool. Blood waves churned and formed a vortex. At the same time, a huge figure appeared in the air. This figure was not a real entity, but a phantom. This was a real ancient god's shadow. The ancient god apparition raised its head and gave a long howl, exuding an aura of supremacy. Then, a loud roar came from under the lake. Then, a young man's figure appeared. His body began to swell. He was originally 2 meters tall, but he quickly grew to 3 or 4 meters. Red scales also appeared on the surface of his body. Someone had succeeded in awakening the scarlet-armored ancient god body. In the end, the young man stopped growing when he was 8 meters tall. As his cultivation increased, he would reach a higher height when he transformed into an ancient god body. At this time, the ancient god's shadow in the sky also disappeared. It turned into a ray of light and entered the young man's body. The young man's body began to shrink, returning to the size of a normal person. He landed on the shore with a smile on his face. Gu Tong, congratulations, congratulations on awakening the ancient god body. On the shore, those young men who had failed came over to congratulate him, all of them with envious expressions. Outside the stone hall, many people also revealed happy expressions. With every new member of the tribe that awakened the ancient god body, the 8th tribe would become stronger. This young man's success was like a prologue to success. Following that, more and more young men succeeded. 2 days later, a total of 11 young men and women awakened their ancient god bodies. However, they were all in red armor and not orange armor. 2 days later, there were only 2 people left in the blood pool. One of them was Lu Ming, and the other was Gu Zhua. Gu Zhua is extremely talented. I wonder if he'll be able to awaken the orange-armored ancient god body. Let's see. If he can stay in the blood pool for 3 days, he might be able to awaken the orange-armored ancient god body. It's hard to say. Gu Ming spent 5 days in the blood pool. Outside the stone hall, many people were looking on in anticipation. Chapter 2838 Green-Armored Ancient God. Generally speaking, if one could stay in the blood pool for 3 days, it meant that they had absorbed enough energy and had the chance to awaken the orange-armored ancient god body. Of course, it was not 100%. The longer one stayed in the blood pool, the higher the chance of success. In the blink of an eye, another day had passed. Lu Ming and the rest had been in the blood pool for 3 whole days. Many people started to get nervous. It had been 3 days. Lu Ming and Gu Zhua had been in the blood pool for 3 days. Lu Ming and the others weren't too worried. He had the ancient god's heart and would have no problem awakening the orange-armored ancient god body. What they were worried about was Gu Zhua. Would he be able to awaken the orange-armored ancient god body? Time slowly passed as everyone waited expectantly. Soon, 4 days had passed since Lu Ming and the rest entered the blood pool. It's been 4 days. It's already been 4 days. Gu Zhua's chances of awakening the orange-armored ancient god body have increased. Let's hope that he can successfully awaken the orange-armored ancient god body. Once one awakens the orange-armored ancient god body, they would become a peerless genius. No matter which tribe they were in, they would be a top genius. That was because only by awakening the orange-armored ancient god body would one have a chance of becoming a god king. Those who had not awakened the orange-armored ancient god body had almost no chance of becoming a god king. At this moment, a roar was heard. On the surface of a lake, the shadow of an ancient god suddenly appeared. This ancient god phantom was several times larger than the previous ancient god phantoms. It was mighty and extraordinary. Then, Gu Zhua's body also appeared on the lake. As soon as he appeared, he roared and his body rapidly expanded. On the surface of his body, dense orange scales appeared. Orange, it's orange scales. The orange-armored ancient god body. It's the orange-armored ancient god body. Ha! Gu Zhua has successfully awakened the orange-armored ancient god body. The 8th tribe has gained yet another orange-armored ancient god body. Many people laughed in excitement. Gu Zhua's body didn't stop growing until it was more than 10 meters long. He stood on the lake mightily. After a while, the shadow of the ancient god turned into a beam of light and rushed into Gu Zhua's body, disappearing. His body began to transform into a human and landed on the shore. Gu Zhua's face was full of smiles. He had finally successfully awakened the orange-armored ancient god body, and his cultivation had also improved to the peak of Tier 9 True God Realm. He wasn't far from the Sky God Realm. The other young men on the shore were extremely envious. Who else is in the blood pool? Gu Zhua asked. There's still Lu Ming. Someone answered. Gu Zhua nodded. Lu Ming being in the blood pool was within his expectations. After all, Lu Ming had condensed the heart of the ancient god. Lu Ming, I wonder what level of ancient god body you'll awaken? Orange or yellow? Gu Zhua muttered. It was extremely rare for someone to awaken the yellow-armored ancient god body at the beginning of the battle in the 10 great tribes of the ancient god descendants. Everyone continued to wait. The 5th day, the 6th day, the 7th day. In the blink of an eye, Lu Ming had been in the blood pool for 8 days. It's been 8 days. He's 100% sure to awaken the orange-armored ancient god body, but he's still a little short of awakening the yellow-armored ancient god body. If you want to awaken the yellow-armored ancient god body, you'll have to stay for at least 10 days. I wonder how many days he can stay? Some people were discussing in low voices, looking forward to it. Time passed day by day. 10 days, 11 days, 12 days. Very soon, Lu Ming had stayed there for more than 10 days. However, he still had no intention of coming out. There was no sign of him awakening his ancient god body. In the blink of an eye, Lu Ming had been in the blood pool for a month. At this moment, everyone was no longer calm. Their eyes were wide open, and their breathing was rapid. 1 month, they had actually stayed for a month. According to their ancient records, among the descendants of ancient gods, the longest time they had stayed was 33 days. Lu Ming was close to this record. Can Lu Ming break the record of 33 days? The prodigy from the first tribe who stayed in the 33 heavens almost awakened the green-armored ancient god body. Lu Ming can't possibly do that, can he? Many people looked at each other. In the history of the ancient god descendants, there had never been a green-armored ancient god body the moment it awakened. Everyone's heart was beating fast. They were both nervous and looking forward to it. Time passed day by day. 31 days, 32 days, 33 days. In the blink of an eye, 33 days had passed. Lu Ming had already tied the record. However, this was not the end. Lu Ming was still creating a new record. 34 days, 35 days. In the blink of an eye, Lu Ming had already stayed for 45 days. 45 days, a full 12 days more than the previous record. At this moment, a roar finally came from the lake. This roar was like the rebirth of an ancient god, shaking the vast universe and stars. The entire stone hall shook violently. In the blood pool, blood waves surged and rolled crazily, and blood light filled the air. At this moment, it wasn't just the 8th tribe. The blood pools of the other 9 tribes of the ancient god descendants were also filled with roars. Waves of blood surged, and divine light filled the sky. What's going on? Why did the blood pool have such a strange movement? I don't know. What's going on? Could it be that someone has awakened a terrifying ancient god body? It seems like the 8th tribe has been opening the blood pool recently. Send someone. Send someone to the 8th tribe immediately and ask for information. Orders were issued from the other tribes of the ancient god clan. In the blood pool of the 8th tribe, waves of blood were surging. Lu Ming's figure emerged from the blood waves. Lu Ming's eyes glowed with a shocking blood-red light. He raised his head and roared. The ancient god's heart gushed out waves of terrifying energy and surged into Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming's body began to expand rapidly. His height was growing at an astonishing speed. 10 meters, 20 meters, 30 meters. It grew crazily and finally stopped when it reached 100 meters. Lu Ming's body was covered in green scales. The green-armored ancient god body. He really did awaken the green-armored ancient god body. Oh my god, he's awakened the green-armored ancient god body right at the beginning of his awakening. He's the first in all of history. No wonder his strength is so shocking. He's too talented. I was wondering how all ascetics could be so powerful. He must be the most talented one among them. The green-armored ancient god body. His future is limitless. He won't be able to break through to the God King realm, right? Heavens! Outside the stone hall, there was a clamor. Everyone was looking at the scene in the sky in shock, unable to calm down. This, on the shore of the blood pool, the other young men were dumbfounded, completely speechless. Chapter 2841 Ancient God Tactic Green-Armored Ancient God Body. It's a green-armored ancient god body. Impressive. I wonder how strong it is. In the crowd, Gu Ming was also amazed. At the same time, he had a strong desire to fight. He really wanted to test the green-armored ancient god Boda's combat power. Green-armored ancient god body. Not bad. At this moment, Lu Ming felt that he was filled with infinite power. He was much stronger than before. It was as if he could blow up a star with one punch. Of course, this was an illusion. The current Lu Ming could not be that strong. This was an illusion caused by the surge in his strength. My cultivation has also broken through and reached the 6th stage of True God Realm. Lu Ming revealed a smile. When he had awakened the green-armored ancient god body, his cultivation had also benefited from it, breaking through to Tier 6 True God. At this moment, the ancient god's apparition turned into a ray of light and rushed into Lu Ming's body, disappearing. With a single thought, Lu Ming's body shrunk rapidly. The scales on his body disappeared and he returned to the size of a normal person. He stepped on the air and landed on the shore. Lu Ming, congratulations. Lu Ming, you're really amazing. Immediately, the people on the shore walked towards Lu Ming with deep envy and admiration on their faces. No one was jealous. When a person's achievements exceeded his own by too much, there would be no jealousy, only envy and worship. I was lucky. Let's go out. Lu Ming smiled. Afterward, everyone followed the passage and left. Lu Ming was warmly welcomed by the 8th tribe after he left. Lu Ming, I think you'd better be single. My Hunyo is not bad. She can do anything. Do you want to consider it? My second daughter is also not bad. Smart, beautiful, and charming. I think you two are really a good match. Immediately, A group of aunties surrounded Lu Ming and started to matchmake him. Lu Ming felt a headache coming on, especially when he looked at the few ladies who were big and strong and had arms thicker than their waists. He broke out in a cold sweat. "Big sister, this is called beautiful and alluring? Our aesthetic standards are too different, right?" Lu Ming wailed in his heart. He then pointed to the sky and swore that he already had a wife and even a child. Only then did the group of aunties let Lu Ming off, sighing in despair. In the end, the 8th tribe threw a huge banquet to celebrate Lu Ming's awakening of the green-armored ancient god body. Lu Ming sighed softly. The other party was so enthusiastic that he felt a little embarrassed. After all, he did not belong here and would leave sooner or later. After 3 rounds of drinking, "Lu Ming, now that you've awakened your ancient god body, you should start cultivating the ancient god tactics. Only by cultivating the ancient god tactics will your ancient god body level improve and become stronger," an elder said to Lu Ming. This man was the patriarch of the 8th tribe. Ancient god tactic. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He had long heard of the ancient god tactic, but he had never seen it. That's right. Only those who have cultivated the ancient god tactic can control the ancient god body. "Come with me," the leader of the 8th tribe said, and then left in a certain direction. Lu Ming followed. Not long after, they came to a cave. "The ancient god tactic is inside. You can go in and study it," the chief of the 8th tribe said. "Thank you, chief." Lu Ming expressed his gratitude and walked into the cave. Inside the cave was a huge cave with words carved on the walls. This was the ancient god tactic. Lu Ming began to study it carefully. While Lu Ming was studying the ancient god tactic, the other 9 tribes had sent people to the 8th tribe to find out more. When they learned that a descendant of an ascetic had awakened the green-armored ancient god body in the 8th tribe, the 10 major tribes of the ancient god descendants were all shocked. Many experts flocked to the 8th tribe, hoping to meet Lu Ming. Lu Ming was unaware of all of this. He was focused on comprehending the ancient god tactic. 3 months later, Lu Ming had almost fully comprehended the ancient god tactic. In the future, he just had to work hard and cultivate it. Although the ancient god body can be upgraded, it's too difficult to upgrade. The conditions to upgrade it are also extremely harsh. After studying the ancient god tactic, Lu Ming understood that, in theory, cultivating the ancient god tactic would allow one's ancient god body to level up. However, it would be very difficult. In reality, there weren't many descendants of the ancient gods who could advance their ancient god body by cultivating the ancient god tactic. Lu Ming left the cave after he was almost done with his comprehension. Lu Ming has come out. As soon as Lu Ming left the cave, the news spread throughout the 8th tribe. Lu Ming had intended to return to his residence, but he was stopped halfway. "Lu Ming, let's have a competition." Gu Ming stopped Lu Ming, his eyes filled with eagerness. "All right," Lu Ming said with a smile. He was also looking for someone to test the power of the ancient god body. "Come on." Gu Ming soared into the sky. Lu Ming followed suit. Lu Ming and Gu Ming are going to spar again. The news that the 2 of them were going to spar quickly spread out. In the sky, many figures immediately appeared to watch the battle. Ancient god body. This time, Gu Ming was very direct. He used his ancient god body and turned into an orange-armored ancient god that was more than 20 meters tall. He held a mace and looked very majestic. Let's try the power of the ancient god body. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat as he activated the ancient god tactic. His body quickly grew into a green-armored ancient god that was 100 meters tall. Heavens! It really is the green-armored ancient god. There's no mistake. How terrifying! In the area, there were some people from other tribes who were shocked beyond imagination when they saw this. God critical strike. Gu Ming roared in anger and charged at Lu Ming. This was because Lu Ming's body was constantly emitting the pressure of an ancient god. This pressure made him feel a sense of fear. This was the suppression of a superior against a lower-ranked. He was afraid that if this continued, he would lose the courage to fight. Therefore, he could only make the first move. "Come on." A long spear appeared in Lu Ming's hands and he swept it out. Lu Ming did not activate the battle formula for this attack. He only used his divine power and the power of his ancient god body. A huge spear, as large as a mountain range, shot towards Gu Ming. Boom! The spear and the mace collided with each other, shaking the world. Buzz! The long spear shook and a terrifying force burst out. Gu Ming's body was thrown back thousands of miles away. Lu Ming was like an adult who had sent a baby flying with a rod. Gu Ming flew for more than 1,000 miles before he stopped. His body trembled slightly, and his hands almost lost their grip on the mace. Again! Gu Ming shouted and charged at Lu Ming again, using all his strength. However, Lu Ming pulled out his spear and Gu Ming's body was sent flying again. Absolute suppression. Chapter 2841 Northern Desolate Demon Plains. This time, Lu Ming had yet to activate the battle formula and he had already achieved an absolute suppression over Gu Ming. Gu Ming was no match for Lu Ming in terms of strength. I wonder if the battle formula can be combined with the ancient god body. I'll give it a try. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat and he instantly activated the battle formula that tripled his combat power. Buzz! The 1,000-meter-long spear was lashed out, causing the void to constantly produce explosive sounds. Bang! This time, Gu Ming's body was sent flying thousands of miles away. He crashed into a mountain and shattered it. Lu Ming was shocked. He was afraid that Gu Ming would be whipped to death. The battle symbol art could indeed be combined with the ancient god body, and when combined, the power was even more shocking. Fortunately, the descendants of ancient gods had transformed into ancient god bodies, so their life force was too strong. Gu Ming's figure rushed out from the mountain peak. However, he was in an extremely miserable state. The scales on his body were broken, and blood was flowing out. He looked like he was on the verge of death. Im done, you pervert, im done. Gu Ming shouted from afar. If their strength was similar, they could still compete. However, if the difference in strength was too great, he would be looking for a beating. I wonder what realm I'll be able to fight against if I unleash my full strength now. Lu Ming began to measure his combat strength. When he was at the 5th stage of True God realm, before he had awakened the ancient god body, he could kill a 1st stage celestial god and fight with a 2nd stage true god. And when his cultivation broke through to the 6th stage true god realm, he would most likely be able to suppress a 2nd stage true god and even kill a 2nd stage celestial god. Usually, those who could break through to the heavenly god realm were those who could control king-grade divine power. Of course, this was with the exception of those who could control saint-grade divine power. In other words, Lu Ming estimated that if he didn't use the ancient god body and used all his skills, he could suppress or even kill a 2nd-level celestial god. However, once he used the ancient god body, his power would increase dramatically and he could even kill a 4th-level celestial god. Once he used the ancient god body, his strength would increase by 2 levels, and it was 2 levels of the sky god realm. This was Lu Ming's estimation of his abilities. The ancient god body was simply too powerful. Of course, this was because he had a green-armored ancient god body. A low-level ancient god body wouldn't have improved so much. Amazing, amazing. If my strength increases by 2 more levels, I can even fight against Tian Hong, Floating Light, and the others. Lu Ming revealed a confident expression. Although the Tian Hong Saint Sun and the Transient Light Saint Sun were also at the 4th-level heavenly god realm, they were the Kong Xian Sex Saint Suns. Their combat strength could not be judged by their cultivation. Is this the green-armored ancient god body? What a terrifying power. He's so powerful. Gu Ming is no match for him. I wonder how powerful he will be if he breaks through to the heavenly god realm. The descendants of the ancient gods around were also amazed. Buzz. At this moment, some figures appeared near Lu Ming and sized him up carefully. Lu Ming, they're from another tribe. Gu Hongshan flew over and said, "So you're from another tribe. It seems like the news of me awakening the green-armored ancient god body has already spread." Lu Ming nodded. He had thought that the news of him awakening the green-armored ancient god body had been spread by the 8th tribe. In fact, he had no idea that his awakening had caused such a huge commotion that it had alarmed others. "You're very strong. How about we spar? Another young man stepped out. This person's body was majestic, like a heavenly pagoda. It's Gu Tian, the #1 genius of the third tribe. The moment this young man appeared, he was immediately recognized. All right, then let's have a spar. Lu Ming nodded directly. He had just gained control of his ancient god body, and he needed to fight to get used to it. With a roar, Gu Tian displayed his ancient god body. As the #1 genius of the third tribe, Gu Tian's ancient god body was also an orange-armored ancient god body, and his cultivation had already reached the 3rd level of the celestial god realm. Although it seemed like he had just reached this level, his strength was much stronger than Gu Ming's. Fight! Fight! Lu Ming and Gu Tian took action immediately. The two of them transformed into two giants and fought and collided with each other crazily. Gu Tian's cultivation base was much higher than Lu Ming's. Lu Ming was at a disadvantage in the beginning. However, as Lu Ming's control of the ancient god body became more and more proficient, he was able to use all his divine skills and secret skills with the ancient god body. Lu Ming slowly turned the tables around and was in a deadlock with Gu Tian. Both sides exchanged hundreds of moves and were drenched in sweat. Satisfying, satisfying, Lu Ming's eyes were bright. The descendant of an ancient god was indeed a warmonger. The battle with Gu Tian had allowed Lu Ming to unleash his combat strength to his heart's content. His use and comprehension of various divine skills had reached a higher level. Amazing, let's fight another day. After so many battles, Gu Tian was almost exhausted, so he could only stop the battle. Lu Ming nodded and returned to his residence to comprehend it in detail. In the days that followed, the experts of the ancient god clan would either challenge Lu Ming or he would take the initiative to fight with the experts of the ancient god clan. He constantly trained his combat strength and the use of various divine skills and secret skills. Gradually, Lu Ming became more and more skilled in using the various divine skills and secret skills that he had control over. When he coordinated them, they were flawless. Just like that, Lu Ming stayed in the tribe of ancient god descendants for 5 years. In the past 5 years, he had visited the 10 great tribes of the ancient gods' descendants. The descendants of the ancient gods were very forthright and treated Lu Ming as one of their own. Lu Ming made many friends here, such as Gu Tian, Gu Ming, and the others. They would spar with each other from time to time. In the past 5 years, Lu Ming had not met anyone from the Qin Heaven Star system. However, he knew from the other ancient god descendants that the people from the Qin Heaven Star system were still in this world. They had not left and were hiding in various places. Lu Ming speculated that the door to the exit had not been opened. Therefore, Lu Ming was not in a hurry. 5 years later, Lu Ming planned to head to the northern wilderness demonic plains in this world. Lu Ming, you're going to the northern wilderness demon field? When Lu Ming told Gu Hongshan about his plan, Gu Hongshan's expression changed. The demon's land of the northern wilderness was at the extreme north of the ancient god world. It was said that there were countless demons there. Moreover, the demons there were different from the ones that Lu Ming and the rest had encountered when they first entered this world. There were many demons there that had intelligence and were more terrifying. The demons of the northern wilderness demon field had always been the archenemy of the ancient god descendants. Both sides had been killing each other for countless years. Therefore, Gu Hongshan's expression changed when he heard Lu Ming's words. Lu Ming, I know that you, the descendant of ascetics, need to go to all kinds of dangerous places to take risks and temper yourself. But the northern wilderness demon field is very dangerous. You still have to be careful. Gu Hongshan warned. Big brother Hongshan, don't worry. I know. Lu Ming nodded. Although he could train here, he could not engage in life-and-death battles. After all, the training for Lu Ming was much less. That was why he chose to go to the northern wilderness demon field. Chapter 2841 True God Stage 8 Lu Ming took his leave and set foot on the journey of the northern wilderness demon field alone. The cold wind whistled, and the world was vast. Lu Ming was not flying. Instead, he was walking on the ground at a steady pace. The resources on this land were more abundant than the area where Lu Ming and the rest had just entered. Lu Ming had only been here for 7 days and he had already obtained many natural treasures. Most of the divine medicine was consumed by the quantity word formula and the metal element materials were given to Qiuqiu. With a roar, a demonic wind gushed over. At the same time, a huge creature pounced towards Lu Ming. It was a tiger-shaped demon with a third-level celestial deity cultivation base. In an instant, Lu Ming activated the tripled combat power of the battle formula and swept his spear out. Buzz! Lu Ming's long spear struck the tiger-shaped fiend's sharp claws, producing a clanging sound and sparks. Buzz! Lu Ming retreated a few thousand meters before he could stabilize himself. Descendant of an ancient god, how dare you come to the northern wilderness demon field? The tiger-shaped fiend roared and charged at Lu Ming again. As expected, it has a high level of intelligence. Lu Ming's eyes flashed. The demons they met when they first entered the world of ancient gods had no intelligence. It was said that a part of the demons in the demon field in the northern wilderness had intelligence. The demons had intelligence, so they were undoubtedly more terrifying. Ball. Lu Ming waved his hand and Qiuqiu flew out. It was covered in lightning and a bolt of lightning struck out. The bolt of lightning struck the tiger-shaped fiend directly, sending it flying. The tiger-shaped demonic devil roared. It was heavily injured, but it did not die. It struggled to get up and revealed a trace of fear. Then, it turned around and ran. Fiendish demons truly are more powerful than ordinary cultivators. Lu Ming had an idea. He moved and chased after the tiger-shaped fiend. If it was a third-level heavenly deity from the Qin Heaven Star domain, he would definitely die if he was struck by Qiuqiu's lightning. However, this fiendish demon was only seriously injured and had yet to die. Lu Ming cast the 9 heavenly Kunpeng technique and rapidly closed the distance between him and the tiger-shaped fiend. Descendant of the ancient god, you are the one who will die today. At this moment, the tiger-shaped fiend demon suddenly stopped, turned around, and roared ferociously. Not good. Suddenly, Lu Ming's heart tightened. He felt a sense of danger. Thunderous roars were heard from the side. 4 demons charged out and charged at Lu Ming. Each of the demons was at the 3rd level of the celestial deity realm, and their killing intent was as cold as a blade. They had been ambushed. Demons with spiritual intelligence were indeed terrifying. They had set up an ambush here in advance to lure Lu Ming over. Lu Ming had been too careless. He was subjective and did not think that the demons would ambush him. That was why he fell for it. The 4 third-level celestial deity fiendish demons charged at Lu Ming from all directions. This was a sure-kill situation. They had to kill Lu Ming in one fell swoop. If that was all Lu Ming could do, it would be really dangerous. It would be the same even with Qiuqiu. Qiuqiu could block 1 or 2, but it definitely couldn't block 4. However, Lu Ming still had a trump card. Ancient God Body. Lu Ming growled. His body expanded rapidly and he turned into a 100-meter-tall giant, covered in green scales. Break the sky. Lu Ming shook the long spear in his hand and it turned into 4 spear lights, stabbing out from 4 different directions. The sound of 4 sharp blades cutting into flesh was heard. The 4 demons screamed and their bodies were sent flying. Their bodies were all pierced through, leaving 4 bloody holes. They lay on the ground and no longer had any breath. With a single move, 4 third-level celestial deity demons were completely annihilated. Ancient God Body? Green-armored Ancient God Body? How is that possible? The tiger-shaped fiend demon from before roared in disbelief. Nothing is impossible. Kill. Die. Lu Ming shouted as he stepped forward. His long spear pressed down and killed the tiger-shaped fiend. With that, the 4 demons were all annihilated and there were no other demons around. Lu Ming's body shrank to the size of a normal person. Demons with intelligence cannot be underestimated. I still have to be more careful in the future. Lu Ming warned himself. He then continued to explore and train. Spring left and autumn came. Time passed year after year. In the blink of an eye, 50 years had passed. Lu Ming had been cultivating in the northern wilderness demon field for 50 years. In the past 50 years, Lu Ming seemed to have really turned into an ascetic. Of course, Lu Ming had also gained a lot in the past 50 years. The resources in this territory were too abundant. The quantity formula had devoured a large number of divine medicine. After refining them, the energy was transferred to Lu Ming. Lu Ming broke through continuously, and his cultivation had already risen from the 6th stage of True God to the 8th stage of True God. Moreover, the 50 years of training and fighting had made great progress in all kinds of divine skills. The 9 heavenly Kuan Prng technique, the 9 layers of crimson gold armor, and the 3 apocalyptic strikes had all been cultivated to the 6th layer, and at the peak of the 6th layer. This caused Lu Ming's cultivation to soar to a new height. What was worth mentioning was that Qiuqiu had eaten a large amount of metal-type materials, and its cultivation had also increased by 2 levels, breaking through to 3rd level celestial deity. His improvement speed was even faster than Lu Ming's. Good wine. Lu Ming was lying on a branch on a huge ancient tree. He held a wine gourd and took a sip casually. He could not help but exclaim in admiration. He was extremely happy. The wine in the calabash was brewed by a type of demon by gathering countless heavenly and earthly treasures. Lu Ming had chanced upon it, and it could be considered a peerless wine. Lu Ming fell in love with it the moment he drank it. Lying among the tree branches and drinking fine wine, Lu Ming felt extremely satisfied. It's fun. I'll settle the scores quickly. It's really fun to be free in the human world. Unfortunately, I can't do that with my current cultivation. Lu Ming sighed softly. All of a sudden, Lu Ming's eyes flickered. He saw a few figures flying forward in a flash not far away. Those few figures were not fiendish demons but people from the Qin Heaven Star region. An expert from the Unique Devil Academy. Lu Ming's eyes flashed. From their attire, it was clear that they were from the Unique Devil Academy. Why would the people from the Unique Devil Academy appear in the northern desolate demon plains? That's strange, let's go take a look. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He then followed them carefully. Lu Ming followed along the ground, and the few of them did not notice him at all. Lu Ming channeled his divine energy to his ears and listened carefully to the other party's conversation. Hurry up. The God King has summoned us. We can't be late. One of them said. May I know why the God King has summoned us in such a hurry this time? Another person asked. It's all about the descendants of the ancient gods. The last time our base was attacked, it was the descendants of the ancient gods behind the scenes. The Celestial King also found out that there are a lot of treasures among the descendants of the ancient gods. There are even treasures that can turn people into ancient gods. So this time, many forces in the Qin Heaven Star Zone have joined forces with the demons of the Northern Wilderness Demon Field. They want to wipe out the descendants of the ancient gods and take the treasures inside. The first person said. A great battle against a 6th-level heavenly deity, so that's how it is. Haha, I hope that when Lord God King gets to eat meat, we'll get to drink some soup. A big man from the Unique Devil Academy laughed. The experts of the Qin Heaven Starfield have actually formed an alliance with the demons of the Northern Wilderness Demon Field. They are going to attack the descendants of the ancient gods. Lu Ming was shocked when he heard the news. Lu Ming had never expected such a thing to happen. After hearing the news, the first thing that Lu Ming thought of was to rush back to the tribe of the ancient gods' descendants and inform them. The descendants of the ancient gods had lived here since ancient times. They had stood aloof from the world. When they attacked Lu Ming and the others, they treated them as intruders. Naturally, they had to fight back. In addition, Lu Ming had stayed in the tribe for 5 years. He had gained a lot in the tribe, and he regarded the descendants of the ancient gods as his friends. He would definitely not watch his friends suffer a great disaster. Wait a moment. All of a sudden, an old man from the Unique Devil Academy shouted and stopped. What's wrong? The others were all stunned. Someone is following us. Get the hell out here. The old man's eyes were cold as he looked in Lu Ming's direction. I've been discovered. What a sharp sense. Lu Ming's eyes turned cold. If you don't come out, you're looking for death. The old man from the Unique Devil Academy was extremely decisive. As soon as he saw that Lu Ming did not come out, he immediately made a move. His palm was like a blade as he slashed out. A pitch-black demonic blade slashed toward Lu Ming's position. Buzz! Lu Ming cast the 9 heavenly Kuan Peng technique and dodged the attack in a flash. Boom! 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 The demonic blade struck the ground, creating a ravine that extended for hundreds of thousands of meters. 6th level heavenly deity. Lu Ming's eyes turned solemn. That old man was shockingly a terrifying 6th level celestial deity powerhouse. Lu Ming's figure moved and was naturally seen by the other party. Lu Ming, it's Lu Ming. It's this kid. There were a total of 5 people from the unique Devil Academy, and all of them revealed cold killing intent. Of course, there was a look of shock in their eyes. They did not expect to meet Lu Ming here. I've really worn out my iron shoes searching high and low, but I found it without any effort at all. So this brat is here. They'll just kill him and claim credit from the Divine King. No, let's not kill him first. Cripple him first. I'll do it. A burly man took a few steps forward and turned into a flash of saber light, charging toward Lu Ming. This person shockingly had a 5th level celestial deity cultivation. If it was 50 years ago, Lu Ming could only turn around and run if he encountered a 5th level celestial deity powerhouse. However, Lu Ming was no longer the same as before. Boom! Lu Ming kept triggering the battle formula. Now, the battle formula had quadrupled combat power. Lu Ming had cultivated it to a 1/3 success rate. After a few moments, Lu Ming successfully triggered it. Moon slaying. Lu Ming waved his long spear and a crescent-shaped spear light swept out. Boom! The two sides collided. The crescent-shaped spear's radiance shook violently and shattered. Lu Ming's figure retreated rapidly. However, although Lu Ming retreated rapidly, he managed to block the other party's move. What? The people of the unique Devil Academy were all shocked. Lu Ming had actually blocked the attack of a 5th level celestial deity. Lu Ming actually had such combat strength? This kid, their eyes were filled with deep shock. Brat die. When the burly man saw that Lu Ming had actually blocked his move, he was shocked. With a ferocious killing intent, he charged toward Lu Ming. The pitch-black demonic blade swept across tens of thousands of miles and slashed at Lu Ming. Buzz! Buzz! Lu Ming cast the 9 heavenly Kuan Peng technique and dodged his opponent's attack with a few dodges. Instead of advancing, he retreated and charged toward the middle-aged man. Ball. Lu Ming sent a voice transmission to Qiu and then threw a punch. Qiu had been transformed into a bangle on Lu Ming's hand. At this moment, it was filled with dazzling lightning. A bolt of lightning as thick as an arm burst out from Lu Ming's wrist and blasted toward the middle-aged man. Small tricks break. The middle-aged man didn't care. He slashed out with his saber, trying to break the lightning. Not good, be careful. The old man's spiritual sense was sharp, and he noticed that the lightning was unusual. He warned loudly, but it was already too late. Bang! The lightning directly destroyed the opponent's blade light and bombarded the opponent's body. The other party was directly sent flying. His entire body was charred black, and he was already exhaling more than he was inhaling. With Qiu's current cultivation, it was not difficult to kill a 5th level celestial deity existence when caught off guard. Damn it! Let's attack together and cripple this brat. When the remaining 4 people of the unique Devil Academy saw this scene, they all roared and burst out with cold killing intent. They did not make a move earlier because the middle-aged man alone was enough to kill Lu Ming. They did not need to do anything at all. They had never expected that Lu Ming's strength would be so terrifying. The remaining 4 of them charged toward Lu Ming, each of them exuding a powerful aura. 2 6th-level heavenly deities and 2 5th-level heavenly deities. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. The other party's strength had exceeded his imagination. Let's go! Lu Ming turned around and left. You want to run? No one can save you today. Kill. The 4 experts from the unique Demon Academy chased after Lu Ming at an astonishing speed. In particular, the 2 6th-tier celestial deity experts had cultivated speed-type divine skills. Moreover, Their mastery was higher than Lu Ming's and their speed was faster than Lu Ming's. They rapidly closed the distance between them. Who said him running? Lu Ming muttered in his heart, his eyes glimmering with wisdom. He had never thought of escaping from the start. Instead, he had planned to wipe out all the enemies. With his current strength and Qiuqiu's cooperation, it was not impossible. Qiuqiu, I'll leave that old man to you. Keep him busy. Lu Ming sent a voice transmission to Qiuqiu. Don't worry, leave it to me. Qiuqiu's voice was heard. Go! Lu Ming waved his hand and Qiuqiu flew over to the old man at high speed. It then turned into a huge metal ball. Two sabers extended from its body and slashed wildly at the old man. A metallic life form. The old man shouted angrily and slashed out with his demonic blade, wanting to kill Qiuqiu. However, the two of them collided continuously. His attack was blocked by Qiuqiu. At the same time, in Qiuqiu's battle, lightning would be released from time to time, making it impossible for the other party to defend. With Qiuqiu's current strength, if it were to go all out, it was sufficient to contend against a 6th-level heavenly deity existence. You guys go and kill that brat. The old man roared. Needless to say, the other 3 people also chased after Lu Ming. Brat, you can't escape. Prepare to die. Yimo Divine Palm. The other 6th-level celestial deity was a black-robed elder. He struck out with his palm and a pitch-black palm print blasted towards Lu Ming. The power was shocking. Divine dragon phenomenon, moon cutting. Lu Ming growled and instantly used 2 of his ultimate moves, the divine dragon materialization technique and the 3 apocalyptic strikes. Chapter 2844 Preparing for Battle Roar. A huge 9-clawed divine dragon appeared and charged at the black-robed elder. At the same time, a crescent-shaped spear radiance also slashed at the black-robed elder. Boom! Boom! The 9-clawed divine dragon and the crescent-shaped spear radiance struck the black palm print, causing a violent boom and shaking at the same time. Kacha! Bang! The 9-clawed divine dragon dharma and the crescent-shaped spear radiance shattered almost at the same time. The terrifying palm force surged out and hit Lu Ming. Lu Ming groaned and retreated. Cracks appeared on the crimson gold armor that protected his body. Lu Ming spat out a mouthful of blood. With Lu Ming's current cultivation, he could fight a 4th-level celestial deity in a great battle under normal circumstances. However, there was still a huge gap between him and a 6th-level celestial deity. Now, let's see what other methods you have. The black-robed elder spoke coldly and led the 2 5th-level celestial deity powerhouses to continue charging towards Lu Ming. Lu Ming pushed his speed to the limit. Other than his ancient god body, he used all means he had to resist, but it was useless. He was still badly injured and he kept spitting out blood. Kid, I wanted to cripple you, but now I've changed my mind. I'm going to kill you. The black-robed elder sneered. The distance between him and Lu Ming was less than 100 miles. To people of their cultivation, 100 miles was no different from a meter. He slashed out with his saber, wanting to kill Lu Ming. Now! Lu Ming's eyes flickered with a cold light. He had been waiting for this opportunity. The black-robed elder had already relaxed. He thought that this was all Lu Ming could do. In reality, the fact that an 8th-stage true god could burst out with such combat power had already shocked the black-robed elder and the rest. They did not think that Lu Ming had any other means. Lu Ming was waiting for the other party to relax and underestimate him. Otherwise, even if he had used his ancient god body from the start, he might not have been able to kill a 6th-level celestial deity expert. What he wanted was to be caught off guard and kill in one blow. At this moment, Lu Ming circulated the ancient god tactic. His body expanded and he turned into a green-armored ancient god. A descendant of an ancient god? Impossible! How could he be a descendant of an ancient god? The black-robed elder and the other 2 were stunned. They would not have been so shocked even if Lu Ming had used other means. However, wasn't Lu Ming from the Qin Heaven Star Zone? How could he become an ancient god? They were stunned, and it was this moment of shock that decided their life and death. Moon slaying. Lu Ming roared and swept his spear. A huge spear light swept toward the black-robed elder. Ah! The other party roared and finally reacted. It was too late to dodge. The black-robed elder was killed by Lu Ming. A 6th-level celestial deity powerhouse was killed by Lu Ming with one shot in a state of underestimation and confusion. After that, the 2 5th-level heavenly deity existences finally reacted and retreated rapidly. However, how could Lu Ming let them leave? The long spear pressed down and charged towards the two of them. When Lu Ming used his ancient god body, his combat strength was enough to fight a 6th-level celestial god. Naturally, it would not be difficult for him to deal with a 5th-level celestial god. In addition, the other party was flustered and had no intention to fight. He was crushed by Lu Ming. Lu Ming was 100 meters tall. He looked up and roared like an ancient god that had been reborn. The terrifying ancient god's might filled the air, making the two of them tremble in fear. Bang! One of them was swept by Lu Ming's long spear and directly exploded in the air. Help! The remaining 5th-level heavenly deity powerhouse was almost scared out of his wits as he rushed towards that old man who was fighting with Qiu with all his might. How did this happen? The old man was also trembling with fear. This scene was completely out of his expectations. He was careless and almost got cut by Qiu, so he hurriedly blocked it. Die! Lu Ming's cold voice was heard. His huge figure seemed to follow the long spear, turning into a spear ray and piercing out. That 5th-level celestial deity was pierced through by Lu Ming's spear and stabbed in the air. In this way, the old man from before was the only one left. Damn it, get lost, get lost. The old man was almost scared to death. He frantically attacked Qiu, wanting to force Qiu back and escape. However, Qiu's body was like liquid metal. It was ever-changing, strange, and unpredictable. Its ability to entangle people was even stronger than his battle prowess, and it firmly entangled the old man. At this moment, Lu Ming had already arrived. They'll send you on your way. Lu Ming waved his long spear and joined forces with Qiu to besiege the old man. There was no longer any suspense in this battle. Regardless of whether it was Qiu or Lu Ming, they could fight the old man alone. With the two of them joining forces, the old man's fate was already decided. The old man resisted more than 10 moves with all his might. Finally, Qiu seized the opportunity and a bolt of lightning struck the top of his skull. Then, Lu Ming swept his spear out and killed the old man completely. Let's go, we're leaving. Lu Ming put away the storage rings of the 5 people from the unique Devil Academy and left the place quickly with Qiu. Lu Ming had to rush back to the tribe of the ancient god descendants to inform them of the news. From the information that he had just understood, Lu Ming came to a conclusion. The door to the exit had not been opened. Lu Ming headed south and finally returned to the 8th tribe after 7 days. Lu Ming is back. Lu Ming's return caused a commotion. Lu Ming, you're finally back. It seems like you've become stronger. If this goes on, I'm afraid I won't be your match for long. When Gu Hongshan saw Lu Ming, he patted Lu Ming's shoulder and laughed. He looked relieved. He was very worried about Lu Ming going to the Northern Wilderness Demon Field. Lu Ming's heart felt warm. He quickly said, "Where's the clan leader? I have something important to discuss with the clan leader." "Important matter? Come with me." Gu Hongshan nodded and led Lu Ming into the tribe. Not long after, they saw the 8th tribe's chief in a huge stone house. The leader of the 8th tribe smiled. "Lu Ming, you said that you have something urgent to tell me. What's the matter?" "Clan leader, I discovered a big secret in the Northern Wilderness Demon Field. The outsiders have allied with the monsters and demons of the Northern Wilderness Demon Field and are attacking the 10 tribes together." Lu Ming told him the news he had heard in detail. What? The patriarch of the 8th tribe, Gu Hongshan, and the others were all shocked. "Lu Ming, is what you said true?" The leader of the 8th tribe said with a serious expression. "It's absolutely true. I heard it from a few outsiders." Lu Ming said, "Quick, spread this news to the other 9 tribes. Also, call back all the clansmen who have been training outside and prepare for battle." The leader of the 8th tribe was extremely decisive, immediately giving the order. Yes. Gu Hongshan and the other higher-ups accepted the order and left to make arrangements. Devil King after that, Lu Ming also retreated. When the other 9 tribes of the ancient god descendants received the news, they also went all out to prepare for war. They gathered all the powerful tribe members who had gone out and set up layers of defense around the tribe. The demons of the northern desolate demon plains were extremely terrifying and powerful. There were many demons and devil kings, and their overall strength was about the same as the 10 great tribes of the ancient god descendants. That was why the 2 sides had been fighting for countless years, and neither side was able to do anything to the other. However, if the experts from the Qin Heaven Star field were added, the balance would be broken. The Qin Heaven Star region had sent over a dozen god kings. Furthermore, the god kings that entered were all extremely powerful existences. A dozen powerful god kings, countless heavenly god realm experts, and the demons of the demon plains were enough to wipe out the descendants of the ancient gods. This was a life and death crisis for the descendants of ancient gods. The 10 tribes were nervously preparing for war. Just like that, half a month passed. However, there seemed to be no movement in the northern desolate demon field. There's still no movement. Could the news be fake? Yeah, could we have been tricked? Some people from the 10 tribes started to discuss. The roars of demons and devils came from the north, completely crushing the doubts. From the demon plains of the northern wilderness, countless demons emerged and attacked the 10 tribes of the ancient god descendants. Among the countless demons, he could even see the figures of experts from the Qin Heaven Star region. Boom, boom, boom. Outside the 8th tribe, countless demons were swarming toward the 8th tribe. There were so many of them that they were endless. The number of demons was even greater than the number of demons that had attacked the Ice Soul Clan's base decades ago. A few earth-shaking roars came from the back of the troops of the monster race and demon race. A few huge creatures appeared in the void in the distance, but their terrifying pressure made everyone feel breathless. That was the Demon King. The king of monsters and demons was equivalent to the king of gods, an existence at the divine king realm. Defeat the descendants of the ancient gods for me. You can enjoy all the descendants of the ancient gods. The voice of a demon king reverberated through the entire area. It was said that as long as a demon devoured a descendant of an ancient god and fused with the bloodline of the ancient god, it would be able to develop intelligence. The demons that had gained intelligence in the northern wilderness demon field had devoured the descendants of the ancient gods. It was no wonder that this time, the demons would join forces with the experts of the Qin Heaven Star field. They had gained from each other. The demons wanted to devour the descendants of the ancient gods, while the experts of the Qin Heaven Star system wanted the treasures of the descendants of the ancient gods. Boom, boom, boom. Roar. Countless demons roared and charged toward the 8th tribe with bloodshot eyes. Kill all these demons. The warriors of the 8th tribe shouted. They stood on the city wall, took out their bows and shot out arrows. The power of these arrows was shocking. Some of the stronger demons were pierced by the arrows and nailed to the ground. However, the number of demons was endless. They kept coming like a tide. Soon, the 2 sides engaged in close combat. All the descendants of the ancient gods who could transform into ancient god bodies did so. On the city wall of the 8th tribe, tall and majestic figures appeared one after another. They roared into the sky and waved all kinds of weapons, fighting against the demons. Lu Ming transformed into an ancient god body at once. He thrust his spear continuously, killing the demons one after another. An earth-shaking roar resounded. The demonic Devil King had made its move. It rushed over from the sky with a terrifying aura that covered the sky and earth. It was extremely terrifying. Kill! A few figures also rushed out from the 8th tribe. Each of them was more than 100 meters tall. They were the god kings of the 8th tribe. The divine kings of both sides engaged in a terrifying battle in the sky. It was difficult to determine the winner when they fought. However, after a while, a figure the size of an ordinary person appeared in the distance, stepping on the air and emitting a terrifying pressure. God King, yet another God King. The God King of the unique Devil Academy. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. Lu Ming was very familiar with this divine king. Back then, he was the one who led the people from the unique Demon Academy to the Ice Soul Clan's base in an attempt to kill Lu Ming. How could Lu Ming forget this? The God Kings of the unique Devil Academy joined the battle. Immediately, the battle was in the Monster Demon Clan's favor. The God Kings of the 8th tribe were gradually losing. In the end, the God King of the 8th tribe could only retreat in defeat. He returned to the 8th tribe and activated the formation to resist the demon's attacks. With the help of the formation, the 8th tribe was able to stop the demon's attack. Buzz. Whoosh. Outside the formation, a few enormous demons and devil kings, as well as the God Kings of the unique Devil Academy, were standing outside. They were watching coldly. Suddenly, another tall figure walked over from another direction. The God King of the inextinguishable sword sect. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. Yet another God King had arrived. The number of God Kings in the 8th tribe was no longer comparable to that of the other side. Attack! Break their formation! The God King of the indestructible sword sect said coldly. Following that, a terrifying sword light shot into the sky, as if it was going to split the entire universe in half, and slash towards the 8th tribe. Boom! 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 The sword light struck the formation, causing it to shake violently. Attack! At the same time, a few demonic kings and God Kings of the unique Devil Academy also made their moves. All sorts of terrifying attacks landed on the Great Array, causing it to shake violently. If it were not for the God Kings of the 8th tribe working together to control the formation would have already been broken under the attack of so many God Kings. Even so, it was very difficult for them to resist. Boom, boom, boom. Outside, the attacks continued for more than an hour before they stopped. Retreat. Then a Devil King gave an order. The countless Devil Kings retreated and stood in the distance, looking over coldly. The Yaoma did not give up. They retreated to rest and recover. When they recovered to their peak state, they would definitely continue to attack. As expected, 2 days later, the experts from the Monster Demon Clan, the Unique Demon Academy, and the Immortal Sword Sect launched another attack. After attacking for a period of time, they would retreat and recover. We can't continue like this. The energy of the formation will be exhausted sooner or later. If the formation is broken, we won't be able to stop them. In the 8th tribe, a group of experts gathered together to discuss some matters. An old man sighed. Then what should I do? Is our clan really going to be exterminated this time? The other old man was filled with sorrow. Our tribe must not be destroyed. In our current situation, we can only retreat to the number 1 tribe and join forces with them. Only then will we have a chance of survival. The chief of the 8th tribe said. What? If we retreat, then we'll have to give up our ancestral land that has been passed down for countless years? Someone said in a trembling voice. The 8th tribe had been their ancestral land for countless years. There were all kinds of sacred cultivation grounds and blood pools, which were the source of their prosperity. It would be a great loss to give up on them. Chapter 2845 Identity exposed. No matter how important the ancestral land is, it still needs people to live. Only with people alive can the tribe be preserved for eternity. The patriarch of the 8th tribe had a determined expression, and his voice was decisive. The other elders all sighed. Actually, it's not just our 8th tribe. Some other tribes also need to prepare to retreat to the 1st tribe. Among the 10 tribes, the 1st tribe is the strongest. Only by uniting all the other tribes can we fight against the demons and the outsiders. Otherwise, we will be defeated one by one. The chief of the 8th tribe spoke again. All right, I agree to retreat. I also agree. In the end, all the elders nodded and agreed to retreat. In the current situation, the only way to survive was to retreat. Otherwise, they would die sooner or later. Prepare to retreat. The orders of the 8th tribe's chief quickly spread throughout the entire tribe. Although many people were unwilling to do so, they had no choice but to retreat. The formation continued to be activated, and all the people of the 8th tribe retreated to the 1st tribe from another exit. Lu Ming moved with the army. The 1st tribe was the strongest of the 10 tribes and the tribe with the longest history. It was said that it was close to the core of the ancient god descendants. In the past, Lu Ming had also come here to spar with experts. Without a doubt, the 1st tribe was also caught in the flames of war. However, the people from the other tribes kept retreating to the 1st tribe, which greatly increased the strength of the 1st tribe and finally stabilized the situation. However, in comparison, the demons that were attacking the other tribes had also gathered. The 1st tribe was also facing a great problem. They had to activate their formation to resist. As time passed, all the tribes retreated to the 1st tribe. Without a doubt, those tribes were all occupied by the demons and the Qin Heaven 13 clans. The people from Qintian No. 13 High School, the Ice Soul clan, and the Scarlet Flame clan are almost all here. Standing on the majestic city wall, Lu Ming looked outside and saw the Qin Heavenly 13 clans, the Ice Soul clan, and the Scarlet Flame clan. However, he did not see any familiar faces. For example, Ouyang Xiangxiang, Yu Linglong, Bing Qing, and so on. Outside the 1st tribe, the demons were roaring like thunder and attacking with all their might. On this day, Gu Hongshan went to look for Lu Ming. Lu Ming, the clan leaders are looking for you. Gu Hongshan said, "Is there something the patriarchs need from me?" Lu Ming was a little stunned. The tribe leaders were looking for him? I don't know either. The clan leader asked me to come and find you. Gu Hongshan was also confused. Let's go. Lu Ming nodded and followed Gu Hongshan to a huge stone hall. Lu Ming, you can go in alone. You can't go in without my order. Gu Hongshan said. All right. Lu Ming nodded and walked into the hall with doubts. In the hall, there were 2 rows of seats, and some people were sitting on each row. There was also a person sitting on the main seat. These people all looked quite old, but their auras were extremely powerful, like an abyss, unfathomable. There were 10 people in total, and the patriarch of the 8th tribe was among them. The chiefs of the top 10 tribes of the ancient god. Lu Ming understood that this was the clan leader of the 10 tribes of the ancient god. Lu Ming greets the clan leaders. May I know why you're looking for me? Lu Ming cupped his fists at the 10 clan leaders. The 10 pairs of eyes swept across Lu Ming, as if they wanted to see through him. Lu Ming, you're not the descendant of the ascetics but an outsider. The clan leader of the 1st tribe suddenly spoke, causing Lu Ming's heart to beat wildly. He had been exposed. Lu Ming's first reaction was that his identity had been exposed. What to do? Lu Ming's mind was racing, but he did not say anything. Lu Ming, although you can fool others, you can't fool old people like us. Your various methods show that you're from the outside world. You must be from the race that guards the world gate from the outside world, right? The leader of the 1st tribe spoke again. The other 9 tribe leaders looked at Lu Ming with bright eyes. The race that guards the world gate? What did that mean? Are they talking about the descendants of the ancient gods outside the ancient gods mountain? That must be the case. The bronze door is the door of the world they are talking about. The descendants of the ancient gods mountain are guarding that door. In an instant, many thoughts flashed through Lu Ming's mind. He then nodded and said, Not bad. I knew it. You're from the guardian race. However, so many years have passed. Is your race still doing well? The 1st clan leader asked. Lu Ming shook his head. Not good. My race is very weak outside. After so many years, many inheritances have been lost. I don't know many things of the descendants of the ancient gods. Since the other party thought that he was from the clan guarding the bronze door, he might as well pretend to be from that clan. Moreover, Lu Ming had come into contact with that clan. That clan did not even know about the bronze door, let alone the world and secrets behind it. Clearly, too much time had passed and many things from that clan had been lost. No wonder. However, it has been so long after all. It's a fluke that your clan still exists. The 10 clan leaders nodded in agreement with Lu Ming's statement. Other than that race, who else could condense the ancient god's heart? This was also the reason why they allowed Lu Ming to stay here and even taught him the ancient god tactic. Chapter 2847 Purple Copper Coffin. Seniors, what do you need me to do? Only then can I release the soul of the ancestor? Lu Ming asked. The ancestor's soul was sealed in a bronze altar in the ancestral land. This bronze altar sank into the depths of a demonic lake. The demonic lake has a mysterious power. The stronger the cultivation, the stronger the rejection force. The weaker the cultivation, the weaker the rejection force. Moreover, only those with extremely dense ancient god bloodline can enter. From ancient times until now, no one from the descendants of the ancient gods has been able to step into the bottom of the demonic lake and release the souls of our ancestors. As for you, you awakened the green-armored ancient god body as soon as you awakened. This is unprecedented in the history of the descendants of the ancient gods. Only you can enter the bottom of the devil lake, break the seal, and release the soul of our ancestor. The first clan leader explained in detail. Lu Ming finally understood. It turned out that the ancestral land of the descendants of the ancient gods was in a demonic lake. People of different cultivation bases would suffer different rejection forces when they entered the demonic lake. The stronger one's cultivation was, the stronger the rejection force would be. It was no wonder that even a god king could not do it and had to come to Lu Ming. Patriarchs, I can go to the ancestral land and release the souls of my ancestors, but if I'm lucky enough to succeed, you have to agree to one condition of mine. Lu Ming said after thinking for a while. What condition? The first clan leader asked. To be honest, I actually know some friends in the outside world. Some friends have also come to this world. My condition is that if I release the souls of my ancestors, you have to promise not to hurt my friends. Lu Ming said. He was still worried about Ouyang Xiangxiang, Yu Linglong, and the others. That's easy. What do your friends look like? We'll let them go when we see them. Not bad. The 10 clan leaders all nodded. This was a small matter to them. Many thanks to all the clan leaders. Lu Ming cupped his fists in thanks. Then he took out a jade talisman and described the appearance and temperament of Ouyang Xiangxiang, Yu Linglong, Wu Zifeng, and Hai, and the others. He then handed it to the 10 clan leaders. All right, Lu Ming, come with us. The first clan leader stood up first and walked towards the back of the stone hall. Lu Ming and the rest followed. After passing through a secret passage, they arrived at a barren land. Lu Ming, keep walking along this barren land. You'll see the demonic lake in front of you. There's already a strong repelling force in this place. We won't go in. The first clan leader said. All right. Lu Ming nodded and stepped out. He walked into the depths of the forsaken land alone. I hope he can succeed. Once the ancestor's soul is released, our clan can truly rest easy and become stronger and stronger. All right, let's set up the formation. The 10 clan patriarchs sighed softly and revealed looks of anticipation. Then, they all left the place to set up the formation. Once the ancestor's soul was released, the formation they set up would be able to control the ancestor's soul. Lu Ming was walking alone on the barren land. As soon as he entered, he felt a repulsive force acting on his body, as if it was trying to expel him. A roar came from Lu Ming's body, and the ancient god's heart started to thump. A thick ancient god aura filled the air, and the repelling force disappeared. Lu Ming walked on the barren land with ease. The forsaken land was truly a barren land. It was deathly silent, and there was nothing. Lu Ming began to speed up and continued to fly forward. This area was shockingly large. About half an hour later, a lake appeared in front of them. The lake wasn't big, but it was very strange because the water was pitch black. Lu Ming had seen many strange things along the way, so he did not take it to heart. He circulated his divine power and set it around his body. At the same time, he cast the 9-layered crimson gold armor. A crimson gold armor appeared on his body. Plop. Lu Ming jumped into the lake. At that moment, he felt a strong force surging towards him from all directions, trying to expel him. It was the same repulsive force, but the force in the lake was 100 times stronger than outside. Lu Ming's protective divine energy and the 9-layered scarlet gold armor could not resist the repulsive force at all. Lu Ming was almost expelled. Thump, thump, thump. At this critical moment, the ancient god's heart started beating rapidly and emitted a thick ancient god aura. As soon as the ancient god aura was released, the external force was weakened greatly, allowing Lu Ming to barely withstand it. Down. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He adjusted his body and dived into the lake. The deeper Lu Ming went, the stronger the repulsive force at the bottom of the lake became. After diving for a few thousand meters, the repelling force had reached a shocking level. Even the aura of the ancient god's heart could not withstand it. Ancient god tactic? At that moment, Lu Ming used the ancient god tactic. His body rapidly expanded and transformed into the body of an ancient god. After transforming into the ancient god body, Lu Ming's resistance increased greatly. He blocked the repulsive force around him and began to dive faster. The demonic lake was very deep. Lu Ming dived a full 8,000 meters before he finally reached the bottom of the lake. A bronze altar. Lu Ming pondered. It was pitch black at the bottom of the lake. Even if Lu Ming circulated his divine power, he could only see a few dozen meters away. He had to look for it slowly. Chapter 2847 Ancient God's Soul Amazing. This purple copper coffin is amazing. Lu Ming sighed and his eyes lit up. The material of this purple copper coffin was definitely extraordinary, and it was probably even better than the bronze door. Who is buried in this purple copper coffin? Could it be an ancient god? Lu Ming started to think. However, there was no answer. I don't care. Since I've encountered it, I'll take it away first and slowly study it in the future. Lu Ming made his decision. Cultivators went against the will of the heavens. There was nothing to be afraid of. Since it was a treasure, they could not miss it. Lu Ming tested the coffin. There was no danger in it. He was relieved. He hugged the purple bronze coffin with both hands, wanting to grab it and put it into his storage ring. However, it did not move at all. Lu Ming could not carry her. Lu Ming maintained his ancient god body. He was so powerful that he could even lift a mountain range in the desolate universe, let alone a bronze coffin. However, Lu Ming used all his strength, but he could not carry her. I'll just store it in my storage ring. Lu Ming pondered and took out a storage ring. A strong suction force appeared and enveloped the purple bronze coffin. Buzz! The purple copper coffin was indeed sucked into the storage ring. It was a success. Lu Ming was overjoyed. However, before he could even celebrate, the storage ring actually emitted a ka-cha sound. Lines of cracks appeared on it, and then with a bang, the entire storage ring exploded. Boom! The purple copper coffin landed on the bottom of the lake again, causing the lake to shake violently. Press! He crushed the storage ring? Lu Ming was dumbfounded. Back then, when Lu Ming obtained that ball of icy liquid, the icy liquid relied on the power of extreme frost to freeze the storage ring and shatter it. And now, the weight of the purple copper coffin had crushed a storage ring. Lu Ming was speechless. However, this was also the reason why the storage ring that Lu Ming controlled was not of a high enough level. If he used the storage ring that the King of Gods used, it might be able to store it. The key was that Lu Ming did not have such a high-level storage ring. What do we do? Can't you take it with you? Lu Ming was somewhat speechless. Back then, Lu Ming could use the ice chains to refine the cold liquid and take it away. However, he could not refine the purple bronze coffin. Kid, use this scroll. There's a space inside this scroll, so it should be able to contain it. Bone's voice was heard. Why didn't you tell me earlier that the scroll formed a space of its own? Lu Ming was speechless. You didn't ask, so why should I tell you? Bone said in disdain. Lu Ming was speechless. Then, Lu Ming controlled the painting scroll to fly out and roll at the purple copper coffin. As expected, the purple copper coffin was rolled in. Lu Ming waited for a while. The painting scroll was safe and sound. There were no problems. Lu Ming was overjoyed and kept the painting scroll. After that, Lu Ming started to search the bottom of the lake. Another hour passed. I found it. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. He finally saw a bronze altar. It was an altar that was as tall as a human and made of bronze. The material was very similar to that of the bronze door. However, it looked very ancient and seemed to have no spirituality at all. The first clan master said that the ancient god body can break the altar and release the ancient god soul. I don't know if it's true, but let's try. Lu Ming pondered, then he stepped forward and punched the altar. Boom. The altar trembled and runes appeared on it. These runes interwove to form an array. However, this array did not stop Lu Ming at all. Lu Ming's fist went through the array and hit the altar. It's effective. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. He guessed that if it wasn't for the ancient god, it would have been blocked by the formation. However, it was fine for the descendants of the ancient god. Or, it could be someone with a rich ancient god bloodline. The array would not be able to withstand it. Boom, boom. Lu Ming continued to punch, his huge fists bombarding the altar. The altar shook continuously, and not long after, a cracking sound came from the altar. Lu Ming saw that there was a crack on it. A roar suddenly came from the altar, and a thick ancient god energy came out of the crack. It really is the soul of an ancient god. Continue. Lu Ming continued to bombard the altar. Finally, the altar exploded with a bang. Arg! A heaven-shaking roar rang out, and at the same time, an extremely powerful energy shot up into the sky. Then, Lu Ming saw a huge figure appear in the sky. Voila! This figure was too huge. Just its feet were taller than the 8,000 meters of lake water. The lake water in the entire lake was stirred up and filled the sky before it disappeared. Lu Ming discovered that he had appeared in a huge pit. Between heaven and earth, an ancient god stood. It really was an ancient god. This ancient god was indomitable and was at least 1,000,000 meters tall. His entire body was covered in pitch-black scales. Was this the soul of an ancient god? It's too big, my god. Lu Ming gasped. Kid, you really haven't seen the world. This is nothing. Let me tell you, this is just a wisp of an ancient god's soul. A real ancient god is much bigger than this. Much, much bigger. Do you understand? The quantity formula was good at seizing the opportunity to mock Lu Ming. How big? Lu Ming asked instinctively. Your life planet must be huge. The fist of the ancient god I've seen was bigger than your life planet. The quantum technique said, a fist is bigger than a life planet. Lu Ming was really speechless. That was too terrifying. He was afraid that one punch would cause a star to explode. And this incomparably huge ancient god in front of him was actually just a wisp of an ancient god's remnant soul. Why are his scales black? Lu Ming was puzzled. According to the ancient god tactic, the highest level of cultivation should be purple scales. However, the scales on the surface of the ancient god's remnant soul were black. That's normal. This is the original color of the ancient god. You have cultivated the ancient god's tactic to the point of purple scales, but you are far from reaching the peak. When you reach the peak, you will be black. However, the power at that time, TSK, is amazing. The quantity formula said. So purple scales aren't the highest level. Lu Ming revealed a look of anticipation. If he cultivated the ancient god tactic to the highest level and his scales turned black, would he have the power of an ancient god? To be able to destroy a star with a single punch, that kind of strength was truly terrifying. The ancient god's soul roared, shaking the heavens and earth. The entire world was shaking. Then the ancient god's soul stepped out, and the world rumbled as he walked toward the first tribe. Chapter 2848. God King dies. At this moment, somewhere in the first tribe, the 10 tribe leaders had gathered. They had already set up a large array. All of a sudden, the 10 of them looked in the direction of the forsaken land, and their faces were filled with ecstasy. He succeeded. Lu Ming succeeded. The ancestor's soul has come out. The ancient ancestor sealed the soul of the ancestor in order to save our clan when we were in danger. Now it has finally appeared. The 10 clan patriarchs were all overjoyed. At the same time, they were also secretly rejoicing. The ancient god's soul was sealed by the almighties of the ancient god's descendants to prevent the ancient god clan from facing a great calamity in the future. However, the talents of the ancient god clan had withered up until now. No one could break the seal. If not for Lu Ming, they would not have been able to release the soul of the ancient god even if they had it. Boom, boom. The soul of the ancient god stepped on the ground. With every step, the ground rumbled as he walked out. This also alarmed the people of the ancient god's tribe. What's going on? Why is there such a violent tremor coming from the depths of the tribe? Could it be that something has happened in the depths of the tribe? Many of the descendants of the ancient gods started to panic. Don't worry. These are the ancient god souls released by the patriarchs to deal with the enemies. Don't worry. With a senior figure consoling everyone, everyone felt at ease. In the Forsaken Land, Lu Ming watched as the ancient god's soul slowly left. He was just about to follow it to check out the situation. "I'll eat, I want to eat," Qiu cried out and flew out. It grabbed a piece of bronze that had been shattered by the bronze altar and began to gobble it up. Qiu ate with great relish, and very quickly, Qiu finished eating a piece of bronze. Then, it rushed to another piece and started eating. This round ball is really lucky. This bronze is not inferior to the bronze from the bronze door. After he has digested it, he will probably have a great improvement. Bone said with envy. Lu Ming was also overjoyed. He waited there with peace of mind. As for the ancient god's soul, step by step, it was not far from the first tribe. Great formation activate. The 10 clan patriarchs started to activate the formation at the same time. The formation gave off endless light and finally condensed into an ancient god's shadow. This ancient god's shadow turned into a rainbow light and flew towards the ancient god's soul. In the end, it entered the glabella of the ancient god's soul and disappeared. Ancient god's soul, kill! The first tribe's master shouted. They took control of the formation, and then the ancient god's soul rose into the air and stepped out of the first tribe. That is, ancient god? The descendants of the ancient god clan were all shocked. They watched as the ancient god's soul flew out of the first tribe and charged toward the army of monsters and demons. What's that? The monster demon clan and the outsiders were all shocked. The ancient god's soul roared, shaking heaven and earth. The mountains crumbled under the roar. Boom. Then, the soul of the ancient god made its move and slapped at the troops of the monster race and demon race. The palm of the soul of the ancient god was so huge that it could smash tens of thousands of demons into meat paste. Ancient god's soul, it's the ancient god's soul, damn it. A demon king roared. So what if you're an ancient god? I'll kill him. A tiger-shaped demon king with a huge body stood up like a mountain. It stared at the soul of the ancient god with a ferocious look. Buzz. In the next moment, the tiger-shaped demonic devil king pounced directly at the ancient god's soul, bringing with it endless gales as it attacked the ancient god's soul. This demon king was extremely fierce and wanted to tear the soul of the ancient god into pieces. Even though his body wasn't as tall as the knees of the ancient god's soul, he was still very arrogant. Kill, die! The ancient god's soul shouted coldly and pressed his palm down. This palm broke through all of the tiger-shaped demonic king's attacks. It was like pressing a toad onto the ground, pinning the tiger-shaped demonic king to the ground. Boom, boom, boom. The ground exploded, creating a huge crater. Countless demons and devils were affected and died. Ah! The tiger-shaped demonic king let out a blood-curdling screech as it spat out a large mouthful of blood. It had been severely injured in an instant. At this moment, countless demons, fiend kings, and even the god kings of the Qin Heaven Star region were all shocked. The demonic devil king was a divine king expert, but he was suppressed just like that. Quick, come and save me, save me. The tiger-shaped demonic king roared in fear. Kill, die. The ancient god's soul shouted as it grabbed the tiger-shaped demonic devil king with both hands. With a powerful pull, it tore the tiger-shaped demonic devil king into two. The terrifying power even annihilated the soul of the tiger-shaped demonic devil king. He was dead. A demon king was killed just like that. countless demons and devil kings, as well as the experts of the Qin Heaven Star region, were all incomparably shocked. The ancient god's soul roared and stepped forward. He clenched his fists and punched out continuously, blasting a large number of demons into pieces. "Run, quickly run!" Countless demons and devils fled frantically. "Want to escape?" In the first tribe, the 10 tribe leaders shouted in unison. They controlled the ancient god's soul and charged towards the demons and devil kings, as well as the god kings of the Qin Heaven Star region. The soul of an ancient god was too powerful. It had boundless strength and could destroy the heavens and earth. With a punch, he killed a demon king in the air. "Run, run!" With that, the demonic devil king and the god kings of the Qin Heaven Star region were all terrified as they fled for their lives. As for the ancient god soul, it abandoned the ordinary fiends and focused on the fiend kings and the god kings of the Qin Heaven Star system. Bang, bang. The soul of an ancient god could kill a god king with a single punch. With 2 consecutive punches, another 2 demons were killed. It then targeted a god king from the Qin Heaven galaxy and chased after him. No. This god king was the god king from the unique Devil Academy. At this moment, he was extremely frightened and was fleeing for his life. However, how could his speed be compared to that of an ancient god soul? The soul of the ancient god caught up with him in a few steps and punched out with both fists. Bang, bang. The god king of the unique Devil Academy was smashed into the ground by the 2 punches of the soul of the ancient god. He spat out a large mouthful of blood, and his body almost cracked. It had to be said that the god kings from the Qin Heaven galaxy were all extremely powerful. The other demons were killed by the ancient god's soul with a single punch, but the god king from the unique Devil Academy was still alive after being hit by 2 punches. However, he was also seriously injured and dying. "Save me, save me!" The god king of the unique Devil Academy let out a miserable shriek and wanted to call for others to save him. However, the others were all running for their lives, so how could they care about him? Bang! Then, the soul of the ancient god took a step forward and stepped on the body of the god king of the unique Devil Academy. This time, he was directly trampled into a pulp of flesh and couldn't be more dead. Then, the ancient god's soul continued to pursue the other experts. The next one was the god king of the indestructible sword sect. This person was also extremely powerful. Unfortunately, he did not manage to escape and was killed by the ancient god's soul. He followed in the footsteps of the god king of the unique Devil Academy. Returning to the Ice Soul Clan's base, the soul of an ancient god was brave and invincible. Its strength was too shocking. In addition, it was extremely fast. It could kill ordinary divine kings as if they were vegetables. In a short period of time, 10 demonic devil kings and 5 god kings of the Qin Heaven Star region were killed by the ancient god soul. Their battle results could be said to be brilliant. Boom! The soul of the ancient god attacked another god king. This person was the god king of the Ice Soul Clan. "I'm going to die." The Ice Soul Clan's god king roared in his heart, thinking that he was dead for sure. However, when the soul of the ancient god arrived in front of him, it didn't continue to attack. Instead, it glanced at him coldly and rushed past him. Then, it attacked the godly king of the Red Flame tribe and killed him in a few moves. The Ice Soul Clan's god king had escaped death. He was on the verge of collapse, but he was also very confused. Why didn't the ancient god's soul kill me? Strange. Forget it, let's retreat with our clansmen first. The Ice Soul Clan's god king rejoiced inwardly. He then led some of the Ice Soul Clan members and quickly left the place. They fled in the direction of the base they had built when they came. Naturally, he did not know that the ancient god's soul did not kill him because of Lu Ming. Previously, Lu Ming had given the images of some people he wanted to protect to the 10 clan chiefs. The 10 clan chiefs controlled the ancient god's soul and could see what the ancient god's soul saw. The divine king of the Ice Soul Clan was one of the images that Lu Ming had depicted. That was why the ancient god's soul had let him go and did not kill him. Kill our way out, kill all the demons and devils. At that moment, an elder from the first tribe shouted. Kill! Following that, the ancient god descendants' army swarmed out and attacked the troops of the monster race and demon race. At this moment, the troops of the monster race and demon race were defeated like a landslide. They had no power to resist and were fleeing in all directions. Not long after, the troops of the descendants of the ancient gods caught up to them and started killing them. The god kings of the 10 great tribes also worked with the ancient god soul to kill the demonic devil kings, the god kings of the Qin heaven star system. This was a massacre that lasted for half a day before it came to an end. As the ancient god's soul was too far away from the first tribe, it was difficult for the 10 patriarchs to control it, so they stopped the pursuit. The army of the ancient god's tribe returned to the capital. The first tribe was in a sea of cheers. This battle could be said to be glorious as more than 20 demons and devils were killed. One had to know that all the demons and devil kings in the northern desolate demon plains added up to around 40. With more than half of them dead, the demons and devils were greatly weakened and were no longer a match for the descendants of the ancient gods. Over 10 of the god kings from the Qin heaven star region had died. The rest had all escaped. When Lu Ming walked out of the Forsaken Land, the first tribe was in a celebratory mood. "It seems like we've won." Lu Ming smiled faintly. After that, the clan leaders of the 10 great tribes met Lu Ming and expressed their gratitude. They even gave him a pile of heavenly materials and earthly treasures. There were many ancient god flowers among them, which Lu Ming accepted without any hesitation. Not long after, the armies of the other tribes started to return to their own tribes. Lu Ming followed the 8th tribe and returned to the 8th tribe. The demons and devils of the 8th tribe and the experts of the Qin heaven starfield had left long ago. The 8th tribe was in a state of loaning. All of their treasures had been plundered. Even the blood pond had been taken in, and the blood pond had almost dried up. Someone has entered the blood pool to awaken the ancient god body. The chief of the 8th tribe frowned. He can awaken the ancient god body even if he's not a descendant of an ancient god? Lu Ming was shocked. However, Lu Ming immediately thought of himself. He wasn't a descendant of an ancient god. After a series of opportunities, he had awakened an ancient god body of a shockingly high level. Yes, but it's very difficult. Talent, willpower, and luck are all indispensable. The leader of the 8th tribe nodded. Then he gave the order to sort out the 8th tribe. Lu Ming stayed in the 8th tribe for another 10 days. At this moment, Lu Ming bade farewell to the clan leader of the 8th tribe. After all, he did not belong here. Sooner or later he would have to leave. "Lu Ming, you've been working hard to guard the clan and the gate to this world. If there's an opportunity in the future, you can send some geniuses here to cultivate." The 8th clan leader said. "All right, thank you, Chief." Lu Ming nodded. He wondered if the 8th patriarch would kill him with a slap if he knew that he was not a descendant of an ancient god. After that, Lu Ming bade farewell to Gu Ming, Gu Hongshan, and the rest. Then, he headed in the direction where they had first entered this world alone. Lu Ming returned to the Ice Soul Clan's base after half a month without any trouble. Here, another base had been built. The Ice Soul Clan was guarding this place. During this period of time, the 10 large tribes of the descendants of the ancient gods didn't pursue the experts of the Qin heaven star system. During this period of time, the armies of the 10 large tribes headed north and were fighting with the remnants of the demonic forces. "Who is it?" someone shouted as soon as Lu Ming approached. It was a critical period, so the Ice Soul Clan was naturally on high alert. "It's me, Lu Ming. I want to see your 9th young master." Lu Ming said loudly. "It's you, young master Lu Ming." The Ice Soul Clan members recognized Lu Ming. "Wait a moment. Well, report this to the 9th young master." Someone from the Ice Soul Clan went in to report. Soon, Bing Qing flew out with some people. Seeing that Bing Qing was fine, Lu Ming was slightly relieved. "Lu Ming, you're all right. That's great." When Bing Qing saw Lu Ming, she was also delighted. "Brother Bing, how have you guys been all these years?" Lu Ming and Bing Qing entered the base and started chatting. After the chat, Lu Ming more or less knew about Bing Qing's experiences over the years. Back then, after they were scattered, Bing Qing followed a few experts of the Ice Soul clan and hid in the forest. Later, they were summoned by the Ice Soul clan's God King and gathered together to act in secret. Later, they joined in the attack on the ancient god descendant. After they were defeated, Lu Ming escaped here and had been on guard. The major forces in the Qin Heaven Star realm suffered heavy losses in the siege of the ancient god descendant this time. There are 15 forces and a total of 15 god kings. A total of 10 died in battle and only 5 survived. Fortunately, the god king of my Ice Soul race is still alive. We're really lucky. Bing Qing sighed. Lu Ming smiled. He knew it clearly in his heart and did not say much. After that, Lu Ming learned that the god kings of the unique demon academy, the immortal sword sect, and the scarlet flame tribe were all dead. Lu Ming sneered in his heart. This was just collecting some interest. Lu Ming would not let go of their past grudges. However, although the factions suffered heavy losses this time, the survivors also gained a lot. Many of them attacked the ancient god descendant tribes and obtained great opportunities. The ancient god emperor continued. Bing Qing said, "A great opportunity?" Lu Ming was puzzled. Yes, some people are so lucky that they have cultivated the ancient god's descendants' secret technique, the ancient god body. Once they use it, they can transform into the ancient god's body and their power will increase greatly. Bing Qing explained, her eyes filled with envy. The door opens. What? Someone has cultivated the ancient god body? Lu Ming was shocked. Other than him, there were others who had cultivated the ancient god body. This was beyond Lu Ming's expectations. That's right. As far as I know, there are 4 people who have cultivated the ancient god body. There is a divine son from the indestructible sword sect, a holy son from the unique demon academy, an overwhelming prodigy from the red flame tribe, and my 7th brother. Bing Qing said, "There are 4 people who have cultivated the ancient god body." Lu Ming was also secretly amazed. Lu Ming was well aware of the difficulty of condensing an ancient god body. Even he himself had to go through a series of coincidences, with the help of the quantity formula and the bone demon before he could finally condense it successfully. The fact that the 4 of them had been able to form an ancient god body meant that they were the cream of the crop in terms of talent, luck, and opportunity. From their names, one could tell that the 2 people who had condensed an ancient god body, the unique devil academy and the indestructible sword sect, were both at the level of a divine son. Those who could be called divine sons were people who had mastered divine-grade divine power. At the same time, Lu Ming secretly heaved a sigh of relief. Since other people could condense an ancient god body, he would have no qualms about using an ancient god body in the future. If others could practice it, he could naturally practice it too. At this moment, cheers came from the Ice Soul clan's base. Then, a few figures flew rapidly towards Bing Qing and Lu Ming. "What's going on?" Bing Qing asked. "Ninth young lord, good news. The gate has opened and the exit has appeared. We can go out now," one of them said with joy. "The gate is open." Bing Qing's eyes lit up and she was also overjoyed. "That's right. We just received news that the gate has been opened. Many forces are heading towards the gate." One of them reported. "Let's go. We're going out too." Bing Qing quickly said. The Ice Soul clan's divine king had already ordered everyone to leave. The Ice Soul clan members flew toward the exit like locusts. In this world, he had stayed for decades. In these decades, he had been living in fear every day and his life was in danger at all times. Especially now that they had been defeated, the descendants of the ancient god could come at any time. Now that the gate was open, everyone was excited and wanted to leave immediately. When Lu Ming and the rest arrived, the huge vortex in the sky had reappeared. It was suspended high in the sky and spinning slowly. Countless figures flew into the vortex and disappeared. In just a short while, more than half of the people had entered the exit. Ouyang Xiangxiang Yu Linglong. Lu Ming swept his gaze and saw Ouyang Qingxiang, Yu Linglong, and the others rushing into the vortex. Lu Ming was overjoyed. He was relieved that Ouyang Qingxiang and the rest were fine. "Brother Bing, I'll take my leave first." Lu Ming bade farewell to Bing Qing and soared into the sky. He followed Ouyang Xiangxiang and the rest into the vortex. The world spun around him. In the next moment, Lu Ming realized that he had returned to the ancient god star. Not far away, he flew out of the bronze door. The bronze door! At the sight of the bronze door, Lu Ming was reminded of the purple copper coffin and the altar that sealed the soul of the ancient god. After Qiu Qiu ate that piece of copper from the altar, it fell into a deep sleep. No one knew when it would wake up. However, even if Qiu Qiu woke up, it wouldn't be able to eat the bronze door. There were many divine king experts staring at the bronze door. Lu Ming! Saint! At this moment, a few joyful voices were heard. Then, a few figures flew toward Lu Ming. They were Ouyang Xiangxiang, Yu Linglong, Wu Zifeng, and Hai, Lu Chang, and a few others, but Zhao Feng was nowhere to be seen. It's great that you're all fine. Lu Ming also smiled. Saint, it's a pity that Zhao Feng is dead. Lu Chang sighed. Zhao Feng's dead? What happened? Lu Ming asked hurriedly. And Hai, Zhao Feng, and Lu Chang were the first 3 people from Kongxian sect to join Lu Ming. Lu Ming still valued them. It's the Tianhong Saint's son. He killed Zhao Feng. We were defeated by the ancient god race some time ago. We scattered and ran back to the base. When we got close, we ran into the Tianhong Saint's son. He suddenly attacked us and killed Zhao Feng, the elder said. And Hai said angrily. Tianhong. Lu Ming's body suddenly exuded a terrifying killing intent. Lu Ming, I'm sorry. I wanted to stop you but it was too late. Ouyang Qingxiang said. It's none of your business. Lu Ming waved his hand. Given the Tianhong Saint's son's cultivation and combat strength, even Ouyang Qingxiang would find it difficult to stop him if he wanted to kill someone. Tianhong, you're really looking for death. Lu Ming's eyes glowed coldly as he asked, Where is Tianhong? Lu Ming's body exuded an extremely cold killing intent. Ouyang Xiangxiang, Yu Linglong, and the others could not help but tremble. Lu Ming, don't be rash. Even if we look for Tianhong now, we can't do anything to him. Ouyang Qingxiang said. That's right, Saint, we have to take revenge for Zhao Feng but not now. And Hai also advised. Where is Tianhong? Lu Ming's eyes were cold as he asked again. His voice was decisive and unquestionable. The Tianhong Saint's son had tried to kill him time and time again, and Lu Ming had wanted to kill him for a long time. Now that the Tianhong Saint's son had killed Lu Ming's desire to kill the Tianhong Saint's son had reached its peak. He was going to take revenge now. Seeing Lu Ming's reaction, Hai and Lu Chang hesitated for a moment before pointing in a direction. I saw the Tianhong Saint's son leading his men that way just now. Very good. Lu Ming said coldly. He stepped into the air and headed in that direction. Let's go, well follow. Ouyang Qingxiang's expression changed, and she quickly called a few people to follow. In her heart, although Lu Ming's talent was terrifying, he was definitely not the Tianhong Saint's son's match now. After flying for a while, they arrived at a mountain peak. On this mountain peak, there were some figures, about 7 or 8 people. Lu Ming swept his gaze around but did not see the Tianhong Saint's son. However, these people were all from the Tianhong Saint's son's faction because Lu Ming had seen a few of them before. Boom! Lu Ming rushed over directly, his powerful aura pressing down on the mountain peak. Lu Ming! It's Lu Ming! On the mountain peak, those people also saw Lu Ming, and their eyes flickered with killing intent. Tell me, where's Tianhong? Lu Ming said coldly. He stood on the peak of the mountain and interrogated them from a higher position. Lu Ming, you're really bold. This is the ancient god star, not the Kongxian sect. How dare you come and look for the saint? An old man sneered. Let me ask you, where is Tianhong? Lu Ming asked again. Brat, what's with your attitude? How dare you talk to me like that? Get down here and kneel down. Die. The old man shouted coldly. His aura surged wildly and condensed into a huge hand that grabbed at Lu Ming. Chapter 2851. Killing Tianhong. The elder from the Tianhong Saint's son's sect formed a huge hand and grabbed at Lu Ming. This was not the Kong Xian sect, and he had no qualms about it. Lu Ming had actually dared to come to them. He was simply courting death. Moreover, he was treating them with such a high and mighty attitude. He was simply foolish. He wanted Lu Ming to kneel in front of him and then kill him. He had the cultivation of a third-level celestial deity. Wasn't it almost certain that he would be able to deal with Lu Ming? Stop! At that moment, Ouyang Qingxiang and the rest had also arrived. She shouted and was about to help Lu Ming. However, Lu Ming was faster than her. Buzz! A long spear appeared in Lu Ming's hands and he swept the spear out. A huge spear light burst out and hit the old man's big hand. Boom! The spear radiance collided with the giant hand. The giant hand shook violently and then shattered. The spear radiance did not stop and continued to press down on the old man. The old man was shocked. He had never expected that a large hand condensed from divine power with his third-level celestial deity cultivation base would actually be destroyed by Lu Ming's spear. Mountain-crushing hand. The old man bellowed in anger. He unleashed all his divine energy and performed a divine skill. He struck out a few times in a row and a huge palm print was sent flying towards Lu Ming. It only managed to block Lu Ming's attack with a violent explosion. However, Lu Ming had already launched his second attack. Break the sky! At this moment, Lu Ming had already activated his fourfold combat strength and cast the 3 apocalyptic strikes. A dazzling spear ray burst out and attacked the old man. Buzz! The spear's radiance was as dazzling as a meteor from outer space. It pierced through all of the old man's defenses and then went through his body, nailing him to the ground. The old man didn't die. He was nailed to the ground by the long spear. He let out a miserable and terrified scream. At the same time, he was deeply shocked. He went all out but was not Lu Ming's match and was crushed by Lu Ming. Had Lu Ming's abilities already reached this level? The others, including Ouyang Qingxiang and the others, were also stunned. They clearly did not expect Lu Ming to be so powerful. This scene had exceeded their expectations. However, Ouyang Qingxiang reacted quickly. Her figure flashed and she stood on the mountain peak. A powerful aura emanated from her and pressed down on the other people from the Great Hong sect, causing them to not dare to move. The highest cultivation level among them was only at the 4th level celestial deity realm. They were not Ouyang Qingxiang's match at all. Speak, Tunhong, where is he? Lu Ming asked coldly. The saint has already returned to the Kong Xian sect. The old man said with a pale face. I went back first. Very good, he'll send you on your way. Lu Ming said coldly. No, the old man roared and wanted to struggle. However, Lu Ming shook his spear and a terrifying energy burst out from his body. Bang! The old man's body was torn into pieces, and he died on the spot. The rest of the people from the Great Hong sect turned pale and broke out in a cold sweat. They were afraid that Lu Ming would kill them too. Get lost! Lu Ming waved his hand, put away the long spear, and shouted coldly. Yes, yes, yes. Those people felt as if they had been granted amnesty. They nodded and bowed before running away in a sorry state. Let's go back to the Kong Xian sect. Lu Ming said. With that, his figure soared into the sky. Ouyang Qingxiang and the others looked at each other before following Lu Ming and soaring into the sky. At a high altitude, Lu Ming took out the Starry Sky warship. Everyone boarded the Starry Sky warship and flew to another planet with a teleportation array. Lu Ming, are you going back to look for Tianhong? Ouyang Qingxiang couldn't help but ask in the starship. Why can't I? Lu Ming said. Lu Ming, Tianhong is no ordinary person. His combat strength is far beyond ordinary people. He's not that easy to deal with, Ouyang Xiangxiang explained. Did his cultivation level increase in the past few years? What's your cultivation level now? Lu Ming asked again. He should still be at the 4th level celestial deity realm, but he has already reached the peak of the 4th level celestial deity realm. Ouyang Qingxiang said. Still at the 4th level celestial deity realm. That's easy. Let's go back and kill Tianhong. Lu Ming laughed. Ouyang Qingxiang and the rest looked at each other. They did not know why Lu Ming was so confident. Although Lu Ming's combat strength was very strong earlier, A third-level celestial deity expert was easily crushed by Lu Ming. However, the Tianhong Saint's son wasn't an ordinary person. If he wanted to kill a third-level heavenly god, one move would be enough. Not long after, they arrived at a planet near the ancient god star. Then, they took the teleportation formation and rushed back to the Kongxian sect. As soon as he returned to the Kongxian sect, Lu Ming rushed to the residence of the Tianhong Saint's son. Like Ouyang Xiangxiang, the Tianhong Saint's son lived on a huge mountain peak with many grand and gorgeous palaces. Many people from the Tianhong Saint's son's faction were stationed on the mountain. Who is it? The people from the Tianhong Saint's son's sect discovered Lu Ming and the rest as soon as they approached. It's Lu Ming and Holy Maiden Qingxiang. Then, the group of people recognized Lu Ming and the rest. Where's Tianhong? Get him out here. Lu Ming stood in the sky and shouted. Lu Ming, how dare you? One of the people from the Tianhong Saint's son's faction was furious. You're too noisy. Tianhong, come out and die. Lu Ming's loud roar was like a thunderclap. His rumbling voice reverberated in the area. That is, Lu Ming. Lu Ming actually provoked the saint directly. He's really looking for death. He's simply tired of living. Lu Ming's voice alarmed the other people from the Tianhong Saint's son's sect. Many people flew out from the buildings and stared at Lu Ming with ill intentions. Many people mocked him. Lu Ming. At this moment, a cold voice sounded. A young man stepped out of a luxurious palace and stood high in the sky, emitting a cold, killing intent. The Tianhong Saint's son had appeared. Tianhong, you're here indeed. Very good. Lu Ming said coldly. Lu Ming, you're really lucky. You didn't die even in that kind of environment. I have to admire your luck. Now, why are you looking for me? The Tianhong Saint's son sneered. He then glanced at Hai, Lu Chang, and the others. Oh, right, I killed one of your men before. You're not here to seek revenge for him, are you? Ha! The Tianhong Saint's son laughed exaggeratedly. I'm now officially challenging you to a life and death battle. Do you dare to accept my challenge? Lu Ming spoke word by word, his voice spreading far and wide. The entire place fell silent. Everyone looked at Lu Ming in a daze. Lu Ming actually wanted to challenge the Tianhong Saint's son for a life and death battle? Many people thought they had heard wrong. What was Lu Ming's cultivation? He was only at the true God realm. He had only become the saint because the sect master had made an exception and promoted him. Now, he was actually going to challenge the Tianhong Saint's son to a life and death battle? A true God realm? Lu Ming, don't be rash. Ouyang Qingxiang quickly sent a voice transmission to Lu Ming. At the same time, Yu Linglong, Wu Zifeng, and Hai, and the others also sent Lu Ming a voice transmission, advising him not to be rash. Chapter 2852 Decisive Battle against Tianhong. Ouyang Xiangxiang, Yu Linglong, and the others all thought that Lu Ming had challenged the Tianhong Saint's son in a fit of rage because Zhao Feng had been killed. And Hai and Lu Chang were greatly touched. How could they not be touched when he treated a subordinate like this? He secretly swore in his heart that he would do his best for Lu Ming. All right, I promise you. The Tianhong Saint's son himself was stunned for a moment before he responded loudly. What a joke! How could he miss such a good opportunity to kill Lu Ming? He immediately agreed, afraid that Lu Ming would go back on his word. All right. Lu Ming nodded and took out a piece of paper. He forced out a wisp of blood and wrote the words life and death duel on the paper. He then signed his name on it. With a wave of his hand, the letter of life and death duel flew toward the Tianhong Saint's son. The Tianhong Saint's son took it and a trace of doubt flashed in his eyes. Lu Ming's decisiveness and calmness made him uneasy. No matter what, he's at the true God realm. He's only been here for 100 years. How strong can he be? I'm overthinking. The Tianhong Saint's son shook his head to get rid of the uneasiness in his heart. Then he also forced out a bit of blood and signed his name on the life and death duel. Lu Ming waved his hand and kept the life and death duel letter. Tianhong, 3 days later, on the life and death battle stage, the first move, life and death. Having said that, Lu Ming turned around and left. Ouyang Qingxiang and the rest followed Lu Ming and left. Lu Ming, are you confident? Ouyang Qingxiang sent a voice transmission to Lu Ming in a low voice. 80%. Lu Ming answered. Ouyang Qingxiang's beautiful eyes flickered. She was shocked that Lu Ming was 80% confident that he could defeat the Tianhong Saint Sun. He could tell that Lu Ming must have had a fortuitous encounter and his cultivation had already reached the 8th tier of True God. However, there was still a huge gap between an 8th tier True God and the Tianhong Saint Sun. Could Lu Ming really cross such a huge gap and fight the Tianhong Saint Sun? Ouyang Qingxiang and the others had looks of anticipation in their eyes. Lu Ming, I'll kill you in 3 days. The Tianhong Saint Sun waved his sleeves and returned to the palace. Not long after, the news of the life-and-death battle between Lu Ming and the Tianhong Saint Sun spread like wildfire throughout the entire Kongxian sect. The entire Kongxian sect was shaken, and a huge commotion was set off. Upon hearing this news, countless people were dumbfounded. Lu Ming is going to have a life-and-death battle with the Tianhong Saint Sun? Is that true? He doesn't want to live anymore? It must be true. The life-and-death duel has been signed. Well, fight in 3 days. Lu Ming must be crazy. Isn't he seeking his own death? Who knows? Let's just wait and see in 3 days. The Kongxian sect's 8 holy sons and holy virgins will probably return to 7 soon. Many people were discussing in shock, but the public opinion was almost one-sided. They felt that Lu Ming was overestimating his ability. A few decades ago, when the sect master had just conferred Lu Ming the title of saint, Lu Ming had displayed his combat abilities. At that time, he could only fight with an expert on the real god ranking list. How far was the real god ranking list from the fighting power of the Tianhong Saint Sun? Many people couldn't cross it in their entire lives, let alone decades. The Kongxian sect, the experts of the various sects, the holy sons and holy virgins had all returned from the ancient god star and were all paying attention to this matter. Many elders even came out of seclusion to pay attention to the battle between the saints. Just like that, 3 days passed by in a flash. 3 days later, the life-and-death battle stage of the Kongxian sect was surrounded by people. The outer sect disciples, deacons, and elders of the Kongxian sect. There were more than 100,000 inner disciples, inner deacons, and inner elders. There was a sea of people, all here to watch this great battle. This life-and-death battle was of great significance. One of the saints was destined to fall. If the Tianhong Saint Sun won and killed Lu Ming, the situation in the Kongxian sect would return to the past, where there were 5 saint sons and 2 saintesses. Once Lu Ming won, the situation in Kongxian sect would change drastically. Lu Ming would rise to power and many people would join his faction. He would suppress the other holy sons and holy virgins and even compete with the supreme holy sun. Not only these people, but almost all the other holy sons and holy virgins had come, but they were hiding in the dark. Who do you think will win, Tianhong or Lu Ming? Holy Sun Jixia asked the other holy sons and holy virgins. That goes without saying. It's definitely Tianhong. More than 50 years ago, Tianhong and I went to stop him in the world of ancient gods, but he didn't even dare to let out a fart. He only managed to survive with Ouyang Qingxiang's help. Do you think he can fight Tianhong? I guess he had some fortuitous encounter in the world of ancient gods, and his strength has improved, so he is full of confidence. Just wait for death. The sacred sun sneered. The other holy sons and holy virgins looked thoughtful. The Tianhong Saint Sun is here. Someone shouted. Then, everyone saw a group of people walking through the air. The person in the lead was the Tianhong Saint Sun. He was dressed in luxurious clothes and looked mighty and domineering. A group of experts followed behind him. Many of them were inner court elder-level experts. A vast pressure spread out and it was awe-inspiring. The Tianhong Saint Sun took the lead and landed on the life-and-death battle stage. Lu Ming is here. Someone shouted again. In another direction, Lu Ming came with An Hai and Lu Chang. Compared to the Tianhong Saint Sun, the scene was much more awkward. A saint only has 2 subordinates. That's funny. When he's killed by the Tianhong Saint Sun, Hell only have 2 subordinates. That'll be a new record for the Kong Xian sect. Ha! Some people who had a grudge against Lu Ming mocked him. Lu Ming had a cold smile on his face. Let's see if these people can still laugh after a while. Buzz. Lu Ming took a step forward and landed on the fighting ring. Lu Ming, you really have the guts to come. Very good, very good. The Tianhong Saint's son glared at Lu Ming with a dark look. It's very good. Cut the crap and make your move. Lu Ming sneered. Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. The Tianhong Saint's son's eyes turned ferocious. His body began to swell. He was covered in scales and turned into a dragon man. Great Sun Dragon Claw Hand. The Tianhong Saint's son shouted. He took a step forward and swept toward Lu Ming like a gust of wind. His claws were no different from a dragon's claws as he kept trying to grab Lu Ming. This was a terrifying divine technique that had been cultivated by the Tianhong Saint's son to the 6th level. With the Tianhong Saint's son's 4th level celestial deity cultivation and the support of his sacred grade divine power, it was terrifyingly powerful. It could tear apart a mountain range that was millions of miles long. If the life and death battle stage had not been reinforced with a powerful array, it would not have been able to withstand the attack of the Tianhong Saint's son. Boom! A loud explosion erupted from within Lu Ming's body. The battle symbol art quadrupled his combat power. Lu Ming activated it. At the same time, 6 divine flames burned fiercely, providing him with strong divine power. 9-layer crimson gold armor, 3 world-destroying strikes. In an instant, Lu Ming cast 2 types of divine skills. Chapter 2854 Dermic Dao Battle. Lu Ming cast 2 divine skills, the 9-fold golden armor and the 3 apocalyptic strikes. One was to protect the body, while the other was to attack. Bush, bush, bush. Lu Ming thrust his long spear more than 10 times in a row. In an instant, more than a dozen spear lights appeared in the sky like meteors, heading toward the Tianhong Saint's son. Buzz, buzz, bush. The spear radiance collided with the Tianhong Saint's son's dragon claw. There was a series of clashing sounds and sparks flew. In the blink of an eye, the two of them exchanged more than a dozen moves. Bang, bang. Following that, a figure retreated rapidly, taking more than a dozen steps back before he could stabilize himself. The figure was Lu Ming. Lu Ming has retreated. He's no match for them. That's scary. Lu Ming actually managed to block the Tianhong Saint's son's attack. Even if he retreated, his strength is still shocking. This scene still shocked many people. They were not surprised that Lu Ming had retreated, but that he had blocked the Tianhong Saint's son's attack. Many people had imagined that Lu Ming would be killed by the Tianhong Saint's son in seconds. No wonder Lu Ming dared to challenge the Tianhong Saint's son and have a deathmatch with him. He's so powerful. However, he's still too confident and underestimated the Tianhong Saint's son. I don't think the Tianhong Saint has used his full strength yet. That's right, the result is already decided. Some of the inner court elders nodded their heads as they evaluated. Lu Ming, is this your ability? You've indeed improved a lot, but you still have to die. Kill. The Tianhong Saint's son shouted coldly and launched a storm of attacks at Lu Ming. The dragon claws on his hands and even the sharp claws on his legs attacked Lu Ming in succession. Break the air, break the air. Lu Ming kept performing the sky-breaking move. Beams of spear radiance burst out and stabbed at the Tianhong Saint's son. At the same time, the 9 ice chains flew out like 9 long snakes. They emitted a shocking coldness and wrapped around the Tianhong Saint's son. Now that Lu Ming's cultivation had advanced to the 8th stage True God realm, the power of the ice shackles would naturally be stronger. The 9th ice chain, in particular, had a shockingly low temperature. Even the Tianhong Saint's son was rather wary of it. He had to avoid the 9th ice chain carefully and did not dare to face it head-on. Every time they clashed, a terrifying coldness would enter his body and try to freeze his divine power and blood. Dragon Wing Slash. The Great Sun Dragon Claw Hand wasn't the only divine skill that the Tianhong Saint's son had cultivated. He used another divine skill, Dragon Wing Slash. A pair of wings extended from his back and slashed at Lu Ming like two heavenly blades. This divine skill was both a speed-type divine skill and an attack-type divine skill. It was extremely profound. The power of such a skill, combined with the great Sun Dragon Claw hand of the Tianhong Saint Sun, was even more shocking. A saint-level figure was indeed powerful. Buzz. Lu Ming performed the 9 heavenly Kuan Peng technique. He dodged and fought with the Tianhong Saint Sun at the same time. For a moment, he was at a complete disadvantage. However, Lu Ming's divine skills, the ice chains, and the divine power that was constantly flowing out of the quantity formula put the Tianhong Saint Sun at a disadvantage for the time being. However, it would not be easy for the Tianhong Saint Sun to defeat Lu Ming. Both parties exchanged dozens of moves in a row. Lu Ming was in a precarious situation, but he was blocked by him. Lu Ming did not use his ancient god body at once. First, he wanted to see how strong a saint-level figure was. Second, he wanted to use the Tianhong Saint Sun to train his own divine skills. Obviously, the Tianhong Saint Sun had also seen through Lu Ming's thoughts. "Kid, you actually want to use me to hone your divine skills? Go to hell, divine dragon materialization art." The Tianhong Saint Sun roared and finally used his secret skill. A 7-clawed divine dragon appeared above the Tianhong Saint Sun's head. It was 10,000 meters long. 7 claws. Lu Ming's gaze flickered. In the past, the Tianhong Saint Sun's divine dragon phenomenon could only form a 6-clawed divine dragon. Now, he could form a 7-clawed divine dragon. One had to admit that the Tianhong Saint Sun was very talented. He had cultivated the divine dragon materialization technique, but it was incomplete. However, he had managed to cultivate the 7-clawed divine dragon phenomenon. "Tear him apart, die!" The Tianhong Saint Sun shouted. He controlled the divine dragon Dharma Laksana and charged at Lu Ming. "Do you think you're the only one who has the divine dragon phenomenon? Come out!" "Divine dragon!" Lu Ming shouted in a low voice. A divine dragon image also appeared above his head. However, it was a 9-clawed divine dragon. Many people were shocked. They did not expect Lu Ming to know the divine dragon materialization technique, and the divine dragon he condensed was a 9-clawed divine dragon. The 9-clawed divine dragon roared and pounced at the Tianhong Saint Sun's 7-clawed divine dragon. The two divine dragons wrestled in the air. However, Lu Ming's 9-clawed divine dragon Dharma form was at a slight disadvantage. Although the power of the divine dragon phenomenon was related to the divine dragon's level, and the more dragon claws there were, the more powerful it was, it also had a lot to do with one's cultivation. The stronger one's cultivation was, the stronger the divine dragon phenomenon would be. A divine king could easily crush a 9-clawed divine dragon Dharma power formed by a divine realm expert, even if it was just a 5-clawed divine dragon Dharma power. The logic was the same. Although Lu Ming's divine dragon Dharma power was a 9-clawed divine dragon, his cultivation base was far weaker than the Tianhong Saint Sun's. Therefore, in the battle between Dharma powers, his divine dragon Dharma power was at a disadvantage. So what if you've condensed a 9-clawed divine dragon? You're still not my match. Just wait for your death. The Tianhong Saint Sun roared, but he was so jealous that he was about to go crazy. He had cultivated for a long time, given his all, and spent God knows how much effort to condense the 7-clawed divine dragon phenomenon. On the other hand, Lu Ming had condensed a 9-clawed divine dragon phenomenon not long after he obtained the divine dragon phenomenon art. It would be strange if he was not jealous. As long as I kill him, the complete divine dragon materialization technique will be mine. He'll be able to condense the complete 9-clawed divine dragon materialization sooner or later. The Tianhong Saint Sun's eyes were filled with greed. He attacked Lu Ming with all his might. Lu Ming was in a precarious situation. "Tianhong, it seems like you've used all your strength. However, I'm still far from using my full strength." Lu Ming's mocking voice was heard. "What?" Many people were shocked. Lu Ming's ability was far from being fully unleashed? "You're bragging, right?" It was already beyond everyone's expectations that Lu Ming could fight with the Tianhong Saint Sun until now. Was there still more strength that he had not used? I don't believe it. Most people didn't believe it at first. Don't even think about messing up my state of mind with just a few words of yours. The Tianhong Saint's son said coldly. He did not believe that Lu Ming had yet to unleash his full strength. He thought that Lu Ming was trying to trick him and disturb his state of mind so that he would have some scruples and could not unleash his full strength. In fact, most people thought the same. You're too naive to think that you can use this method to deal with Tianhong. Indeed, it's child's play. The holy sons Ji Xia and Fu Guang sneered, but the next moment, their eyes almost popped out. Chapter 2854 Killing Tianhong. Tianhong, open your dog eyes wide and see what it means to be a frog in a well. Lu Ming's indifferent voice spread throughout the entire venue. Then, a powerful aura burst out of his body. Then, his body swelled up rapidly and became bigger and bigger. Finally, he became 100 meters tall. His body was covered in green scales, as if an ancient god had appeared. Ancient god body. Lu Ming had finally used his ancient god body. After transforming into the ancient god body, Lu Ming's strength increased dramatically. He felt as if he had endless power. Buzz. Lu Ming's long spear swept out. It was as huge as a mountain range, and it pressed down on the Tianhong Saint's son. Thump. The Tianhong Saint's son's dragon wing hit the spear radiance, creating a deafening boom. Terrifying shock waves spread out of the battle platform and in all directions. Buzz. Then, a figure stepped on the void and retreated. This time, it was the Tianhong Saint's son who was retreating instead of Lu Ming. This is the body of the ancient god. My god, it's the ancient god body. Lu Ming has also condensed the ancient god's body. He must have had a great encounter in the ancient god world. It's terrifying. It's too terrifying. As far as I know, only the divine sons of the unique Devil Academy and the indestructible Sword Sect, as well as the two peerless geniuses of the Ice Soul Clan and the Red Flame Clan, have obtained great opportunities in the ancient god world and cultivated the ancient god body. I didn't expect that Lu Ming has also cultivated the ancient god body. Furthermore, his scales are green. That's the 4th level of the ancient god body. It's terrifying. This is Lu Ming's trump card. Unbelievable. This battle is going to be a mystery. Lu Ming had used his ancient god body, causing an uproar at the scene. Many of them had entered the world of ancient gods and knew about the ancient god body. They were even more shocked. He hadn't expected that, aside from the 4 geniuses, there would also be someone else from the Kong Xian sect who had obtained an ancient god body. Envy, jealousy, and hatred were the feelings of most people. Ancient god body. The Tianhong Saint's son was also extremely shocked. I'll use it to kill you, Lu Ming said coldly. He held his spear and charged at the Tianhong Saint's son. So what if you have the ancient god body? You still have to die, kill. The Tianhong Saint's son roared madly and unleashed all his strength. The 7-clawed divine dragon roared into the sky and finally gained the upper hand. It tore apart the 9-clawed divine dragon that Lu Ming had condensed and pounced at him. At the same time, the Tianhong Saint's son used the great sun dragon claw hand and the dragon wing slash to attack Lu Ming. Break the sky. Moon slaying. Lu Ming waved his long spear and used the 3 apocalyptic strikes in a row to fight the Tianhong Saint's son. Before Lu Ming had used his ancient god body, he had been at a complete disadvantage against the Tianhong Saint's son. However, when Lu Ming used his ancient god body, his combat strength skyrocketed, and he suppressed the Tianhong Saint's son. Bang, bang, bang. The two of them kept clashing in the fighting ring. Every time they clashed, the Tianhong Saint's son would stagger backward. He was completely suppressed by Lu Ming. One had to admit that the Tianhong Saint's son's combat strength was extremely strong. If it were an ordinary 4th-tier celestial god, Lu Ming would have been crushed and killed in one move when he unleashed his ancient god body. However, the Tianhong Saint's son was able to fight fiercely with Lu Ming, which showed his strength. However, Lu Ming was still stronger. Ice chains, divine dragon phenomenon. In the middle of the battle, Lu Ming used 2 secret skills. the ice chain and the divine dragon materialization technique, to interfere with the Tianhong Saint Sun. The Tianhong Saint Sun was already no match for him. Now, he was even less of a match. Bang! He was caught by Lu Ming's 9-clawed divine dragon phenomenon in a moment of carelessness. The dragon claws almost pierced through his body and sent him flying. He spat out a mouthful of blood as a bloody wound appeared on his body, and blood flowed out. Then, Lu Ming's spear swept across the Tianhong Saint Sun. Bang! Gotcha! The Tianhong Saint Sun's body made cracking sounds. Many of his bones were broken. He slid for a long distance on the fighting ring. He lay on the ground and spat out blood. He had no more strength to fight. He was defeated. The Tianhong Saint Sun had been defeated. Everyone was silent as they looked on in a daze. Some people were even dumbfounded. This scene was beyond the expectations of most people. Before the great battle, almost no one thought that Lu Ming could defeat the Tianhong Saint Sun. They all thought that Lu Ming was seeking his own death. Who would have thought that this would happen? The 4th-level celestial deity, the Tianhong Saint Sun, was actually defeated by the 8th-level true god, Lu Ming. He was lying on the ground like a dead dog. Bang! Lu Ming landed on the ground and strode toward the Tianhong Saint Sun. His cold killing intent made the Tianhong Saint Sun tremble. Lu Ming, what do you want to do? The Tianhong Saint Sun shouted in fear. What do you want? Of course I'm going to kill you. Do you even need to ask such a naive question? Lu Ming sneered. No, you can't kill me. I'm the saint of the Kong Xian sect. You can't kill a saint randomly. The Tianhong Saint Sun roared. This is a life and death battle. Don't make it sound so laughable. Lu Ming's footsteps did not stop. His killing intent grew colder. Stop. You can't kill the Tianhong Saint Sun. At this moment, someone outside the fighting ring shouted. A powerful aura filled the air and pressed toward Lu Ming, causing him to narrow his eyes. The person who attacked was an inner elder of the Kong Xian sect. He was Ying Tsang's master, a peak heavenly god, and a core figure of the Tianhong sect. Naturally, he could not just watch the Tianhong Saint Sun die at Lu Ming's hands. However, there were people from Ouyang Qingxiang's faction who hoped that the Tianhong Saint Sun would die at Lu Ming's hands. An inner sect elder from Ouyang Qingxiang's faction also released a powerful aura and blocked the aura of Ying Tsang's master. The two saints have signed the letter of challenge to a life and death battle. No one is allowed to interfere, so don't break the rules. The inner court elder from Ouyang Qingxiang's faction said coldly. Ridiculous. Tianhong is a saint. It's so difficult to give birth to a saint. How can he be killed just because of a life and death duel? Ying Tsang's master shouted. The life and death duel is a rule that has been formed in the cultivation world for hundreds of millions of years. How can we change the rules because of him? The inner court elder from Ouyang Qingxiang's faction did not back down. As for Lu Ming, he could not be bothered to waste his breath and attacked directly. Tianhong, rest in peace. Lu Ming said coldly and thrust his long spear at Tianhong. Ah! The Tianhong Saint Sun screamed. You dare to? Ying Tsang's master shouted, but he was blocked and couldn't help. As for the other powerhouses, they just watched coldly from the side. Indeed, after signing the deathmatch agreement, life and death would be decided, and no one had the right to interfere. The long spear pierced through the air, causing everyone's hearts to beat wildly. The Tianhong Saint Sun tried his best to dodge, but he was too severely injured to do so. The long spear pierced through the Tianhong Saint Sun's forehead. The Tianhong Saint Sun let out an unwilling scream. His eyes widened as his life force was rapidly drained. In the blink of an eye, the Tianhong Saint Sun had lost all signs of life. The Tianhong Saint Sun had fallen. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.